here in turn 3, actually at the bottom of turn 2 on the inside, and also on the inside of turn 3 here in the S's, where water is starting to pond up just a little bit. That's what we had at Coda, and also at the Roval, where when you get into that, then the hydroplaning occurs. I know they love to take care of that, bring out the Toyota Tundra track drying team to address this, but there are some hot spots right now that have ponded up here within the last few minutes.
Well, these guys talk about the rain. I think another thing that's affecting this decision is when I look at the radar, I see maybe 15 or 20 minutes most of rain. So since we know we're going into the dry, you know, we love the fact that we can run on a wet surface. We won't have to get the jet dryers out and dry the surface. We're going to blow the standing water off. And if it doesn't rain hard enough to continue to puddle, we can get going. But I think NASCAR sees that radar and says, you know, in 15 minutes, we're probably not going to have any heavy rain. So let's blow the puddles off and then let these guys loose. I mean, I have to agree. We want to make sure everybody, I'm great with running in the wet. And the intentions is to run in the wet. But there's a difference between the wet and, you know, standing water is a major issue.
And this car, puddling, definitely issues. They've run before, these drivers, and the teams have run before on a road course. We think back just to the Roval in 2020 when there was rain on the racetrack, rain affecting how these guys were driving, and that's what we saw. We saw the craziness that it took place there, but also at Coda.
Yeah, but I think this is where the line was drawn in the sand. NASCAR did everything they could to try to get this race in, and there were some pretty big accidents with vision and visibility in this race right here. It ended up being Chase Elliott. But I think that's the one where the drivers got together with NASCAR and said, okay, we're up for running in the wet, but we have to be able to have a little bit more confidence to at least be in control. And then that's what this is all about. So,
yeah, the hydroplaning, the standing water, and as we just saw, the radar, it's looking good once this rain shower passes through. So the drivers still in the cars. They've brought them to pit road. They're going to get rid of some of the puddles, and we hope to see a green flag here shortly.
With low prices and great deals, back to school's easy. That's totally Target.
Make more good in the all-new Sportage X-Pro. Kia, movement that inspires.
Did I tell you I bought our car from Carvana?
Yeah, Ma.
It was so easy. I found the perfect car.
Under budget, too.
And I get 7 days to love it or my money back.
I love it.
I thought online meant no one to help me, but Susan from Carvana had all the answers. She didn't try to upsell me.
Not once, because they're not salespeople. Where do you guess who just checked in on me? Susan from Carvana.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
What's Peacock to a Premier League fan?
Do you want me to tell him?
It's exclusive live matches and so much more.
There's actually a lot more.
It's magic. Wow! From Harry Kane and Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
British drama from Stamford Bridge.
It's all falling apart.
And Downton Abbey.
The British are coming.
And with a 24/7 PL channel, yeah! The Premier League never stops on Peacock.
I love it.
There's so much to love.
Back at Watkins Glen, the cars have been pulled to pit road. Drivers still inside the cars. They had run a few laps, realized that there was a lot of standing water out there on the racetrack. Steve, there's so many different things that rain can affect, and it could even affect when you're inside the car.
Yeah, really, you know, the car itself is designed to be wet, but it's the radio that's my biggest concern. So right here on the left side, you can kind of see a set of hands in. He's messing with the radio harness. It looks like now an extra plug gets in. They're putting in really another wiring harness that's not wired in. They're just laying it in, zip tying it on. So definitely the 9 is having some sort of radio issues. You see Chase kind of clicking between radios. I like that the radios are in the right side of the driver because they're not in the rain area, which would be coming in. But then finally they said, well, let's try another helmet. That's all part of this system. You see the KBB helmet out, now the normal Napa helmet in for Chase Elliott. So, you know, diagnosing some radio issues. And then right here, the 77, they're in the issue where it looks like this is a wiper issue. I'm not sure if it's not turning or turning within it. Parker.
Steve, I'm down here actually right now with the team, and basically it spun itself around is what happened. So they're actually getting a backup windshield wiper here, working with Nascar to get that fixed and sort of looking at how they can stop it from doing that. But if it went down, it won't actually clear the water here for Mike Rockefeller. And as we know, vision super important. And just up and down pit lane, you have so many teams and you know, looking at the cars, looking at different things in the cars, handing drivers towels to dry themselves off, or radios, maybe water that's seeped in. So just part of the situation here of dealing with wet racing, Marty.
Well, let's chat with Jonathan Hassler, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney, who arguably has the most to lose here if we go racing in the rain. What are your thoughts on the track right now? What did Ryan say?
Yeah, you know, the track is definitely still a little bit wet. There's a lot of guys talking about, you know, the standing water and water near the curbs. Ryan felt like it was probably as good as it was going to be, though, so we'll just leave it up to NASCAR to decide when we go racing.
So would you be cool with going racing right now?
Yeah, you know, I would be fine to honestly go out there and race as long as the drivers are all happy and feel like it's, you know, safe for them. Honestly, for us, it's another little wrinkle, another little opportunity for us to try and get some track position.
So you and I talked this morning. You said, man, no doubt the nerves are here. Does this make you even more nervous with rain in the mix?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely a situation that I haven't had to deal with on the box before, but, you know, I've been a part of it for a couple different races. So, like I said, it's an opportunity for us to try and gain some track position early.
How much of an eye will you be keeping on the 19 and kind of watching what they're doing and how well they're performing?
Yeah, you know, the goal for us if we can't win is to just outpace the 19 all day, so we'll definitely watch him from start to finish.
There you go. So nerves, I think, for every crew chief. It's not just Jonathan Hassler, Dave. It's nerves for everybody down here with the rain coming down here at the Glen.
Marty, that is certainly true, and Scott Graves among those whose driver, Chris Buescher, has been good on the road courses, and it was good here this weekend. But now he has this. What does he do with this, Scott?
Kind of wait and see. We know we got a little bit more rain left here for probably a good 10 or 15 minutes. It'll lighten up for us, and then it's kind of a matter of what options NASCAR has here. We know we're going to want to try to get switched over to dry tires, obviously, as soon as we can. We'll just kind of wait and see. Yeah.
What will that transition time be like, and how hard will it be to know exactly when to go?
It sucks.
It's a little
I
tough,
put all this
obviously.
together.
Typically,
let's mute you right now so I can focus. I want to mute that so I can focus this for a second. I went to the wrong thing. Discord. How did I not get this part fixed? Is what's crazy. What is going on right here? Oh, I know. No, I give it some desktop audio. It's just, what is my mic connected to? Settings. Output audio. I'll see if we can get this fixed. Audio. Is it fixed? No, it doesn't seem to be fixed. I might have just done the wrong thing. Is it fixed? There we go. No, it doesn't seem to be fixed. I might have just done the wrong thing. Dude, what's wrong with my freaking mouse, bro? Let me check my mouse out. I guess I'm on my mouse, I think. Is there chalk in my mouse? Dude, I think I might just miss shaving there. Holy crap. I don't know how the heck that happens. Anyways. It's fixed.
Drivers, though, that I think can take advantage of this situation. You've got some drivers that are licking their chops on pit road and in the garage right now, and then you have some that are like, please, son, please come back out. So we don't know really what to expect.
They're
doing the best to get the track as an acceptable condition as they possibly can. But Junior, there are just so many unknowns here with this new race car for the first time ever in the wet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to see some clearing skies over here to my right. But and we still got a pretty hard drizzle over here at the carousel. But I'm thinking like a driver, and I'm thinking about that windshield wiper because that thing has been designed.
That should be good.
For,
Let's work with that. We are good to go.
So I'm on the radio asking Steve or talking to Steve about.
That's interesting though. So far we have basically had a red flag at the moment.
Windshield to be cleaned by the wiper. Does the wiper actually do the job, considering how it's been manufactured in such a way to really improve drag and aero? And so as that thing's moving across the windshield, and it's a big bulky piece, how is the air going to affect it? Is it going to allow it to do its job? The spray, not only is it wet, it's also dirty. Will it clean the windshield? Because that windshield is going to get harder.
That's interesting. I mean,
if that windshield
I can't be surprised, man.
So
I can't be
that's one thing I'd
surprised.
be concerned about in the first half of this race for sure. Yeah, Junior, I would be really concerned about the track itself. I mean, the curbs. Think about that. All week long, we've talked about how these cars use the curbs. Where you are, every single part of the racetrack, they use the curbs. The curbs are painted, and that means they're probably slicker. And on top of that, a lot of those curbs have grooves cut in them to create a place where they don't really want you running under. Well, that captures water, and water sits in there. So what curbs?
All right, so we kind of just chilling right now.
Curbs are going to hurt you.
Not much to do right now. Just chilling, stuff like that.
See if they're using them to their benefit.
Yeah,
try it.
sweet.
What's the problem with trying it is if it doesn't work, you're the guy that figures that out. So trying to understand how to take advantage. This is what sports are about. You have adverse conditions. Who can step up? Who can take this opportunity and turn it into a successful race? And the way to do that is go try different stuff that other people are willing to do, but there's risk involved. But that's what's going through my head as a driver. What can I do that others won't do? What can I learn and learn it as quickly as possible and then apply it lap after lap after lap?
Well, Jeff, what's going through my head in the booth is you said adverse conditions. You and Bagley look like you're the deadliest catch out there in the middle of the ocean. Dale Jr. looks like he's waiting for a dinner reservation. Like,
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know what's up, man. Thought we'd have a race going in right now. I guess we're not going right
I'm taking the bus stop with my man with a roof.
Just whatever.
A+. That's a good choice, Junior, on your spot.
The difference is he has a remote booth, and we are in the elements. This is Bagley and I. This is radio style. This is remote booth style. We gave Junior.
This was sit back and relax.
Get out here.
Maybe commercial my message game. So
There is tough. Although I will say, Bagman, hold on. It looks like 5 steps forward and you would have a roof. I'm not calling you out there, but.
Well, but the camera's here and the roof is over there. My thing, who needs Roker and Cantori when you got Uncle Baggy and the S's at Watkins Glen? Huh? Come on.
I love it. I love it.
What a beautiful day at work for all of our friends around here, as well as Parker Kligerman. You're used to this rain racing, aren't you, Parker?
I am. I do love a bit of rain racing, but right now I found a way out of the rain. That's in the Trackhouse Project 91 pit box with Darren Grubb. So, Kimi Räikkönen.
Darren Grubb, bro, my boy has changed. Oh my goodness.
Rain. What does even say?
Look at my boy Darian, bro.
Just everything we did.
Dog, look at all that gray hair.
New to him about procedures.
Bro,
Done a great job adapting
my boy
all
Abe.
week long, trying to get ready for this race. This is just one more element. It's a car that we haven't raced in the rain, a tire that we haven't raced in the rain, and situational on the track with the ponding and stuff. I think the best thing to do is just go race. I personally want to do that because he's probably got more rain experience than anybody in the entire field. So we're really looking forward to that and get going here.
And I was going to ask you about that. Did he give you any indication, like, hey, I actually would like it to rain? I mean, that's with his experience level. If it rains, I would think that's an advantage, some respect.
Yeah, I think nobody wants it to, but he does feel like he would probably have an advantage on some of the competitors out there, just based on his experience in the rain. But everything else is so new. It's still going to be a lot of drama going on out there, I'm sure.
Did the teammates have anything to say about the weather out there and what the conditions are, if we could get going here soon?
I haven't talked to him personally myself. Just talking to Kimi, it sounds like there is quite a bit of water ponding up in a lot of areas, but he's saying that even if the best thing is to get the tires pumping and get the track clear with that.
Marty, I think it's kind of fun to see this team not only making their first start, but also having to deal with the weather conditions as well.
Well, Parker, let's talk to Randall Burnett because we know Tyler Reddick is outstanding in the dry. He's won the last 2 road course races here in the Cup Series. How's your man going to be in the wet?
Oh boy,
Well,
when we go racing, it'll be fun.
Tyler likes a new challenge, so this will be fun for him for sure. We've got a little rain experience, from Coda the other year and the Roval, so everybody's kind of on level playing ground there. So this car is going to be a little bit of a new thing for us. We haven't really run in the rain with it, so we got to figure that out. And Tyler's certainly up for the challenge.
So you never know what's going to crop up, right? Tyler coming down pit road said, man, I need some Rain X right away because inside the visor was fogging up. Is that correct?
Yeah, with his visor down, it was fogging up just a little bit. And then, we don't know how well these cars are going to be sealed up and all that right now, right? Because we haven't run them in the rain yet. So he's got contacts, so he's a little timid about running his visor up, so it kind of makes it a little tricky. We're going to give him some Rain X for his visor, and we'll be good to go, I think. I think we'll have to run, a little bit here in the wet. It looks like the weather's clearing out a little bit. There's some opening behind it, so, I think we're going to have to run a little while in the wet. How long that'll be, I don't know.
Yeah, so you bring up that point. You're sitting comfortable here. You got 2 wins. You're in the playoffs. You're locked in. Can you imagine being the guys out right now? But you talk about how the race is going to play out. How long do you think you'll have to run in the rain? And then does that become a game of who gets on the dry tires first?
Well, I think we certainly seen that the other year at the Roval, with the Gen 6 car. The guys that got on the slicks quicker made up a lot of ground, and the guys that were a little bit more timid on it, kind of gave up sometimes. So, it looks like once the weather clears out of here, I think we got a good shot at it staying dry for a while. So that's promising. So I think you'll see it'll be kind of a race to get to the dries and make up as much time as you can on dries before everybody gets on them once it gets to that point.
Dave, it's funny. I talked to Jonathan Hassel, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney, a moment ago. Currently the last spot in the playoffs. Little nerves in the 12 camp, but over here in the 8 camp, 2 wins. They're feeling good right now.
Feeling good down here in the 34 as well, Marty. Michael McDowell, he gets a win. He is in the playoffs. Now, let me explain what's going on here. This is interim crew chief Chris Jurgis. The normal crew chief, if I can call Blake Harris normal, right? He is at home in the command center working by communication with the team here because he was suspended a few races ago. He's got 2 weeks left. He will rejoin at the playoffs, and they hope they're in at that point. So the interesting thing is, Chris was just telling me during COVID, you were the guy at home, and Blake was on the road, so you know the system works, right?
Absolutely right, and so thankfully we invested into that technology when COVID hit, so we had everything already set up at the shop, so it's pretty much plug and play for these scenarios to keep them in communication with the pit box. So all that stuff's come a long way in the last 5, 10, 15 years that we didn't have it before, so it's business as usual on the 34.
Came along at the right time. So did the weather for your driver? I'm thinking this might be advantage, Michael.
Absolutely. Michael loves the rain. He's got laps here in the rain. So he was talking about the tendencies earlier when we had the break and where the puddling happens and all that. So we're pretty excited to get going. Obviously, we got a little bit of blue sky trying to poke through. There's going to be a transition to the dry at some point. We'll have to rely on Michael's experience to make that transition onto stickers and hopefully be up there up front all day.
Did you remind him he's not in a prototype?
Yeah. Yeah, if he goes
I drank some water
yesterday.
yesterday.
We may be in for trouble. So obviously this is different for everybody. No one has ran an extra car in the rain. There's a lot of variables.
So we gotta work on that.
Sealing
Be better
the
at
car
that.
up, a lot of different things with radios, communication.
Y'all see that fight last night, man?
Work through. Everybody's trying to work through.
So playing the game of
What was it? Usman? My boy got kicked. I don't like that radar I'm looking at. But Usman and some other dude.
There's going to be a transition spot.
Leon Thomas, that's the name. Those two fought. My boy Leon Thomas hit that boy with the kick, though. But Usman was winning that fight too, and bro just got KO'd.
You got to be on the aggressive side on going to stickers.
That's crazy.
So we just got to rely on Michael. We'll evaluate the spray that's coming off the cars as another indicator of how wet it is out there, and make the decision and go from there. And hopefully it'll be in our fuel windows for what we had originally planned.
All right, guys, and if any of this wasn't to the liking of crew chief Blake Harris, he will be telling Chris immediately, because from the command center, he'll give him the information.
That's great insight, Dave. Thank you so much. From the mind of a crew chief, and one filling in, everything hopefully will go as planned, although there's so many variables that keep getting put into play now as these drivers are still waiting for the go-ahead to fire the engines back up. And that gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's coming up on Friday on USA at 4:30 for the first time ever, Dale Jr. Download will be on USA, and the guest is Ty Gibbs. Junior, I want to bring you back in, and you had some great opportunities to chat with this young driver, the 19-year-old Ty Gibbs, your guest. Give us a preview of some of the things that you talked about.
Well, we know Ty Gibbs has made quite an impact in the sport, and with his success on the racetrack and some of the things he gets himself involved in on the racetrack, there's been it's kind of created a persona or a perception of him. But when we have a guest come on the Dale Jr. Download, it's a real opportunity to dive way deeper into who this person is and to get to know them much, much better. And Ty's going to be in this sport for a really, really long time. The idea is that he's going to be successful and he's going to be around for a while. So it's a great chance for us to get to know him early and continue to sort of learn about this guy and have him.
I didn't even mind kind of watch the video
throughout his career, but just when somebody's so polarizing, you really want to.
Bro, got less than a week. Then the KSI fight. I'm pumped for that, man. I'm pumped for that.
And we get that chance on the Dale Jr. Download. It's a lot of fun.
Young, aggressive driver, again, subbing for Kurt Busch here. He'll be subbing as well at Daytona, and that's when the show will air on Friday at 4:30.
Teams have been told to get the covers off the cars and secure the window nets. Let's go. Let's go.
On USA.
You just keep saying Daytona, and I was thinking that was the biggest wild card left, and here we sit Watkins Glen in the rain. So I don't know how to compare the two. I can't wait to hear that. Ty's such just an interesting guy. I've been around him a long time. He actually raced at a little local dirt track, so I got to see him when he was younger. And I think he's done a really nice job in this 45 car. I think he has found comfort of just being who he is on the racetrack, hasn't put it in a lot of bad spots. So see the window net going up.
Well, that's why the crowd is reacting.
Yeah.
They see the car covers coming off, the window nets going up, and that can mean only one thing. They're going to fire these things back up, and we're going to see the cars out on track. Parker?
Right, and one thing these teams and
Let's
drivers
go.
have to deal with a little bit is when you take these cars and you heat them up by
Let's
running around,
go.
stop them. One thing that happens is this fogging up of all the windows on here. So some of these teams will start blowing fans inside the race cars here as we get closer to get going to try and remove some of that condensation, that fog inside. And it's something you hope goes away once you start running. The air starts flowing.
I hope this is a good race. Don't want to be a failure of a race, please.
Potentially under the windshield, but you need to sort of get rid of this at start. So it's just one of the problems these drivers might have to deal with here right as we get going. Some of these teams trying to remove this fog that gets in the race car when you have this condensation inside, and they let them sit here and sort of get hot like that.
Hey, Parker, so help me out here. So when this rain does go away, we're going to take our wet tires off. Now we have to put the dry tires on. This area right here, the window, I'm going to circle it. Can you point to the air inlet at the top of the window? So normally that brings fresh air in. That's an opening, and it's required in these cars, well, until it rains. You're allowed to plug it. So, Parker, is that a grip or something I see right there? Because they know this has to be removed. They have a plan, it looks like, already to get this back off.
It's like a latch. You could just flip it out of there, right? So some of these teams have all different sort of designs of how they do this. They're allowed to use different thought processes for how they do this. But yeah, there's like almost a little spot you can put your hand in there and pull this thing out for when it dries. You want to have that airflow again when there's not water on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, because I think it's going to be required. I bring that up, Marty, just because, hey, you know, when you go back to drives, that's live pit stop. You can lose spots, so you don't want to have to mess with that for extra seconds. That wants to be a quick adjustment.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steve. So when you qualify well, Steve, one of the advantages is you get one of these front pit stalls as the cars crank up the engines right behind me. But the front pit stalls at Watkins Glen are downhill. Well, guess what water does? It runs downhill. Chase Elliott on the pole today. He has the #1 pit stall, so they're trying desperately to get this a little bit more dry. But look behind Chase Elliott's pit stall. Look at that water flowing right there, and that flows right into the exit of Chase Elliott's pit stall. So if he goes, Steve, to slick tires maybe early in the game here, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get all this dry. That's going to be a tough exit on pit road for Chase Elliott. We'll have to watch that later.
Absolutely. I'm a little concerned about our man there standing next to the electrical cord in the running water. No, these are all the things we don't know. I love the fact that NASCAR has committed, and Goodyear, because they have to be a huge partner in this to create a rain tire. But I love the fact, because if this didn't exist, okay, so the rain just stopped. I don't know what this place takes to dry, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I mean, if you look at the time of day, we're closing in on 5 o'clock. If there was no rain planned, then these amazing fans that have packed this place all weekend long would be leaving, missing a race, because in 2 hours, the sun's going to set around 8 o'clock. So, you know, even though we couldn't run in standing water, the sun is out now. And these guys are going to be able to green flags. So this is just a huge compliment and a tip of the hat to Goodyear and NASCAR for, giving us a chance to put the race on for the fans.
And Steve, you had touched on the fact that you believe that this track will dry up to the point where they'll go to the slick. So let's listen in on the 8-team communication. I think they're already thinking about it.
How long do you run? How long does it take for it to dry up enough to where you feel like you're comfortable getting on the slicks? The guys that were on the aggressive side of that at the Roval the other year when we went through this were the ones that made up all the time. So you're going to have to help us with that because you're going to be the one out there doing it and seeing it.
All right, so here's the pros and cons. If there is a dry line, the tire on your right, the slicks, will outrun the rain tires by 10, 20 miles an hour, by 4 or 5 seconds a lap. Easy. The negative is, if it's dry 2/3 of the way around here and there's one wet spot in the bus stop or one wet spot in the carousel, your driver has to change his line. If you take those slicks through the wet, you are off track. There is zero traction. So, it's easy to say, be aggressive, switch over. That's fun until your car's backwards into the gravel or the tire barrier. So I like what Randall was saying. He was basically saying, listen, the radar's good. This isn't on me anymore. You, as a race car driver, have to come up with, a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready. And he kind of gave him the little nudge of, hey, earlier the better. Earlier the better.
Marty.
Boy, Rick, the sun's come out here on the front stretch. So, Steve, when it rains like this, other than what's going to happen on the racetrack at a road course, what's your number one concern? The electronics, right? So we saw that with Chase Elliott earlier. They went to the backup helmet. That is fine. That is now working for Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson. But is there a problem for Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens? Listen.
I heard Adam good. Christopher was all broke up. I just wondered if...
All right, sorry. We back. Sorry. I'm waiting for the race to get going.
Electronics. We talked about Chase Elliott's pit stall. Got to make sure those radios are good as well.
I will say, Rick, it's easy to say now, but
no harm behind this.
In the playoffs and the opportunity to run in the rain in the most crucial part of the season. I think some of these bigger teams are gonna...
I'm going to the Roval for Saturday's race. For the Xfinity race, I'm hoping it's a great race.
I'm the guy with the leaf blower because there's no chance.
Because I'm going to be down in the pits, obviously, with Clemens and all that, doing my thing with them. And gonna have my pastor with me.
As well as the slicks.
Well, they have 5 sets of each.
Right.
So they have.
Here we go. This is exciting. This is gonna be exciting. I'm happy. They said talking about doing some single file restart or something like that.
Quickly, the dry line dries up.
Where do you go? There's got to be a pot of gold at the end of that thing.
That's where Dale's calling the bus stop from.
That's right.
He was dry.
Right under the rainbow.
No, but so my point, okay,
let's
so
go.
See where these cars are running, right? So it's wet where they are down to the inside, but up by the curb, 39 race cars. They are going to create a dry line, I think, very, very quickly. I can't wait. I'm so thankful we're doing this radio style because we're going to be able to go to Bagley.
How many wrecks I think we're gonna have within like 5 laps? Whoa, that's a lot of birds.
One of the worst places to
That's
drive
a lot of
because,
birds.
as you pointed out, it's totally flat back there.
Yeah, they've done a good job, though. There's a lot of water that's been removed. But again, with the elevation, the banking.
I don't know, man. It sucks that they got rid of all this water, man. Cause man.
Into the interior of the racetrack. One thing you might see that will be abnormal.
Disappointing, to be honest. Yeah, I love rain racing, and you gotta, come on now.
Won't be an option everywhere because you'll have to cross over the groove at certain parts of the racetrack through the S's, through the bus stop. But where the cars typically run, it puts down a lot of rubber. When you put
This is
water
gonna be
on top of
interesting.
that, it's very slick. So a lot of guys at road course races, when it rains, get off line. So maybe through the carousel, you might see guys running up a lane. Maybe in other parts of the racetrack, trying to miss that bottom groove that they typically run. It's kind of slicker when it's wet. So be paying attention to that. And I'll be honest, I've ran in the rain in IMSA. I've not ran with this particular tire, but I was surprised, very, very surprised by the grip that the rain tire provides. You do run slower, but it's really predictable. It's forgiving, and I think these guys won't have too tough of a time really kind of coming to terms with it.
So, Dale, my one other concern as the cars go through the bus stop is we have seen a lot of guys drop a left front, right? So right here they turn in, but as they come, I'm going to circle right here. This area right here, we have seen guys drop a left front, exit the other side, they drop a right front.
Most of this is gonna.
You know, we've seen infields before get super muddy, and you can't get anywhere near them. If you get there, is a great shot. Like right here, you see where it's muddy.
Yeah.
So like right there, Dale, from your vision or your viewpoint, excuse me, is that totally off limits now, or what does that look like?
Mama
Well,
told me be home by the
you
hour.
know, by making mistakes. So yeah, you don't want to get there, but it's going to happen. It happens in the drive. So in the
Mama told me be home by the hour.
Probably in the second half of the bus stop, you're going to see guys that's going to bring that mud onto the surface. And that's going to make anything straight out of the groove very, very treacherous in that particular area. And that'll be dirty the entire rest of the race. When this thing dries up, that'll still be a low grip area.
So, guys, one thing about this tire, talked to Austin Cindric this week about the rain tire. Remember, he had those rain tires on his car at Martinsville when they wet the racetrack. He said that this rain tire is much more of a tire that's kind of like a street tire. The old tire was made for almost racing in really high standing water. The other thing that he said was it lasted longer in the
Sorry if I hear a dog barking.
maybe
She's
not
chosen the
as
bark
difficult
now.
of a decision for the teams of when to go, because
Mama
this tire
told me be home by the hour.
compared to last year's rain tire.
2 races to go before the playoffs begin, and here are the playoff standings. 14 drivers locked in.
Yeah, this
Kurt Busch
playoff
win.
standings are
He's
nuts,
still
man.
out, though. He
They're
won't
nuts.
race here. He won't race at Daytona. But with that win, he's still in the playoffs. He's not in the yellow yet because he's not locked in. Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., they're fighting
Oh,
for
that's
points.
right.
And we heard all this conversation between the 12 and the 19. Dave.
Hey, Chase Bush was locked into the
Blaney
playoffs.
and Truex, who can run
I didn't even
better?
notice
Both
that.
Crossing their fingers, hoping
That's
they don't
because
get to
Bush
there.
didn't race
You
last.
saw Truex there in the red, and he was reminded on these laps by crew
I shouldn't
chief
be
Jim
happy.
Small.
I'm only happy because
Avoid the carnage.
I'm a
either
Briscoe
when it's
fan.
over, so be careful
Like, I
what you're
really
doing
hope
there.
Bush
If
gets
we
better.
can get through all the mess that we expect may happen when the green flag is thrown, then we can worry.
Very
about
unfortunate
getting
for
points,
Kurt Busch,
possibly
man.
getting our win. He's got 2 races to do it. He's only missed 1 time in this elimination format in the playoffs, Marty.
Dave, while Martin Truex Jr. is the first one out, Ryan
Let's see.
Blaney is
Take a
the
look.
last one in the playoffs. He just told his team moments ago, he said, listen, I will do my best until this track dries up, but he does not have a lot of experience in the rain at all. But Jonathan Hassler has shown a willingness here in the regular season to take gambles. Parker, this could be a game of who goes to slicks first. Hassler might be that crew chief to make that call.
No doubt, Marty. And starting behind them is the 2007 F1 World Champion.
Kimmy.
Jumping in the deep end in his first ever NASCAR Cup Series.
Look at my
run
boy
with
Kimmy
limited
looking
time in one of his
fresh.
next-gen cars. And you may think that's a lot to take on, but this is something he's done his whole career. Back when he was 21 years old in 2001, he was signed to a full-time F1 ride. In his first start, he scored a point. He had only done 23 car races in his entire life up until that point. Some drivers go their whole career without scoring a point there. He told me yesterday, I just want to have fun, and so far we've seen him all weekend smiling. I think he's going to have a great time here as we start to get going here at Watkins Glen.
Doing something that nobody else has been able to do and take this car and work his way around the 2.45 mile road course as we kind of have a good vantage point of what it's going to be like here for Kevin Harvick. Thanks to Northern Tool and Equipment. We really want to welcome Northern Tool and Equipment to NASCAR, to NBC Sports, as they have come on board and are helping us out with this view from
We're going green this time, right?
Yeah, a little closer near the front. We have Kyle Larson in the second
Yes,
position
we're going
with
green
the
this
Xfinity
time.
onboard
Here we are.
camera, and then even
This is going to
better
get ugly.
Also,
I've got Chris Buescher winning the race, by the way, or Christopher Buescher. We got Christopher Buescher winning the race today. I'm going with that pick, man. I feel really confident with that.
here, and there's the Coca-Cola.
He's been really good these road course races these past couple ones, man. So I'm going to give the edge to him. I believe in him.
We're going radio style as the field is single file, all chasing after Chase Elliott as we get ready to race in the rain at the Glen. Up through the gears they go. Green flag is in the
What's
air.
going to happen? Who's going to wreck?
Vision, definitely something they're going to be learning quickly as they dive into turn number 1. They're 3 wide already.
Chase Elliott away with the lead, stacking up from about the 5th or the 6th position on back. Elliott now will grab that top spot. Here's Michael McDowell trying to capitalize.
Okay, McDowell.
He's trying to ease through.
Oh.
Grabs second. Larson gets into him in turn 3.
I didn't
Goes
make it.
straight
I
it
don't know
out.
if you can
Everyone
understand.
tiptoeing their way through turns 2, 3, and 4 in hot pursuit of Chase Elliott.
Look at that spray. It's difficult for everybody that back there from 5th on back to see anything. Chase Elliott down into the bus stop. Watching everybody gingerly go through this part of the racetrack. I do not envy these drivers under these conditions. Watching them around the carousel. A lot of guys running the higher side, trying to find grip up there.
Let's go.
Not running the traditional low line. Everybody gets through the bus stop pretty clean, real surprising.
Also missed it.
Actually missing, have to pull in to stop to serve a penalty. He'll pull away.
Is that Daniel Kvyat?
You can see right now they're all testing the braking limits. They don't want to make a mistake early, but track position does matter no matter what. So every one of these drivers navigating down that back straightaway, how much can they see? Look how much spray there is, and where is the corner? I mean, it's very difficult to see. And what is my braking limit, and how much will these rear tires stand on the gas?
Chase Elliott now with about a 3-car length advantage over Michael McDowell as he goes into turn number 1, being followed by that 5 of Kyle.
Oh!
And around goes to 16. A.J. Allmendinger, the first to spin as he tried to test the limits just a little too much.
He just got dumped.
Tell if there was contact with the 2 of Cindric or not. He was running in the 5th position.
Cindric's a
Still
killer,
hasn't got
bro.
back on track, but we are under green. Take another look at what happened.
You see right there, yeah.
Oh my
Cindric
God.
just basically straight. I don't know if he
Straight
was
killed
in
him.
deep in the wet and couldn't turn. But heavy oh, you see the tires locked up on the front of the 2. He's trying to slow down, just skipping across the wet pavement into the right rear quarter panel, and around goes Allmendinger.
The car that served the penalty the lap before through the bus stop was Eric Almirola is in the tail end of the field with AJ. Watching everybody else come through the bus stop again. Pretty much clean so far. Everybody taking a very careful approach to the carousel.
Where's Kimmy at?
Really wide around that racetrack. The bottom crew's still a little bit slick from the rain. Off the Jeff.
Yeah, see, Chase Elliott was running offline. The other drivers had decided to put the car on the normal traditional line. See how far up the corner he is?
Kimmy's 21st. Okay, Kimmy.
That's trying to get
Let's go, Kimmy.
the racetrack that's not slick because of oil and rubber that's on the racetrack.
McDowell now getting a little more aggressive as he tries different lines to get out of the spray of Chase Elliott, who's leading, and a big battle happening now for 3rd. Kyle Larson under attack from Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick on the move coming out of turn number 1. He took a peek to the inside coming out of 1, and he couldn't find the real estate that he needed. And you'll notice the drivers taking different lines, setting up for and getting through the S's. They're looking for that grip. It's a 4-car breakaway. You've got Elliott in the 9, McDowell in the 34, Larson in the 5, and Reddick in the 8.
Elliott way down on the inside of the racetrack, possibly trying to stay in the water to keep those tires cool. Still continuing to lead. Really, really tidy line behind him for McDowell. Now McDowell under a little pressure to the bottom of the racetrack goes a 5-car. Not enough grip down there to make it work. Around the outside, Reddick trying to take a position.
Yeah, McDowell's a driver that has a ton of road racing experience. We see how good he is on road races. This wet condition, I think he sees it as an opportunity. You're going to see him pushing pretty hard. How far offline he was.
Let's go. Come on, Briscoe.
Knowing what he needs. Look how far out he is compared to everyone else.
Well, as this battle was up front, we showed you A.J. Allmendinger spinning into turn 1. Well, he wasn't alone. Under further review, look right here.
Oh, my goodness.
Harrison Burton, the 7 of Corey LaJoy, both spinning into turn 1. No contact, no damage. But
Had a couple of brothers spin. Burton and LaJoy. Michael McDowell, bro.
Reddick being aggressive early.
Oh, Michael McDowell going for the lead.
On the move, he's just gotten the 3rd spot. He's trying to get the 2nd spot, and now he's trying to go for the lead. Here's Michael McDowell. Power move coming downhill into the S's. He'll go from 3rd to 1st, but not if Chase Elliott has anything to say about it.
Come on, McDowell.
Battle for the lead going to the back straightaway.
Every corner, every lap, these drivers get braver and braver. It's really easy, I think, when you're following somebody to be the one to push harder, push harder. The guy out front really has nobody in front of him to judge off of. Mike McDowell taking a few laps to build up that confidence, pushes his car.
Look at Kimmy, bro. Top 20, man. So cool.
McDowell with nothing to lose, knowing if he wins this race, he can work himself into the playoffs. The sun is coming out, so this track is going to continue to dry. Watch them move around as they start looking for drier portions of this racetrack.
Michael McDowell.
All they look for dry portions, so if they got what?
And looking good as Tyler Reddick takes over
Jeff
second
is,
place there in the final corner. Michael McDowell in that yellow 34 should be no surprise. He's up front now searching for a little water for those tires. That's part of his expertise in racing in the rain. But specifically, he's raced in the rain here.
Oh, someone's in the pits.
Wiggle just a little bit there through turn 1. It was in a prototype car in the IMSA series, but he was able to understand exactly where things puddle
Who
and
pitted?
don't puddle, where you can get the water when you want it and when you don't. And McDowell now takes the lead in his Mustang.
Who pitted?
Yeah, I think that, when you're wanting to find water, basically you're trying to put a little bit of temperature out of the tire. The tire's going to get really, really hot. You don't want to overheat these rain tires. So you'll run offline on the straightaways and put them in the wet where it's not dry to keep the temperature down. And get back in line for the corners. McDowell, oh, somebody's missed the corner. Looks like the 5 car here. Kyle Larson has missed the entry to the bus stop. Partner, what you got?
You see Justin Haley at the binder screen there was on pit road. His window net came down. Sometimes you just don't get things latched when you're rushing there, like we had the situation for some of these teams as we came down there from the pace laps from the rain and then got back out there. If you look at this incident from Kyle Larson.
Yeah, Kyle Larson just goes straight. He has to come to a stop. He does to reduce the penalty. So, wise move to not make it worse, but such an unfortunate situation for the 31 at this. I know things like that happen, but that's super, super frustrating. 8th, Rick, and seemed very comfortable in the rain. Okay, offline right there. You've heard us mention it. As these tires get a little too warm as the track dries, you're going to look for those puddles to actually cool these rain tires until you get the slicks. If you get the slicks, it'll be the opposite.
Leaders leading turn 1 downhill into the S's. And right now, Michael McDowell looks in the rearview mirror. He thought he was sailing high right now, on high tide, as it were. But he looks back. He's got Tyler Reddick starting to close in on him. Reddick's got some work to do, but both McDowell and Reddick are searching for the most grip they can and the wettest part of the racetrack because it's slowly starting to dry out here in the S's.
See back at the very back of the screen, the 17 of Busher in 4th place, having another solid run. Marty, what you got?
Junior, the driver holding on to the last playoff spot is Ryan Blaney. He started 21st. He's still in 21st. And we talked about the rain playing havoc with electronics. Listen.
Quick note, my fuel pressure is not working.
Come on, man. Come on, Briscoe.
I won't be able to say very good if it starts to drop before running long. I'll just have to wait and feel it. So, FYI.
There you go. So, Steve, I know that's one gauge that's gone bad inside the 12th car. I would assume for Jonathan Hassler, he's worried more might go bad inside the car. But the fuel pressure, driver not being able to read it, worry you at all?
I think you're going to be okay at this point. You're going to go off math. Now, you would hate it if you had to diagnose an issue, you won't be able to. But at this point, there's nothing you can do. 6 laps complete. Track somewhat drying right here. You're starting to see a dry line, Rick. I don't think it'll be long. Someone is going to make that big jump, and it's a big jump. It's a cannonball over the slicks because they will have very low grip in the wet.
Michael McDowell out front here at Watkins Glen.
That's crazy. Michael McDowell leading, man.
Have the power to make more good in the all-new Sportage Turbo Hybrid. Kia, movement that inspires.
Why is Roger happy? It's the little things Carvana does. See, Roger wants to sell his car, stat. Little things like getting a real offer in 2 minutes really make Roger happy. So does Carvana's customer advocate, Caitlin, picking up his car at promptly 10 a.m.
Hi, are you Roger?
Berglund, with the Honda Accord? Yes, I am. It's right over there. Will I be getting...
And he loves that Caitlin pays him on the spot. Yeah, Raj? It's the little things that drive you happy. We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Did you know your skin has a night mode? It's why I use Olay Retinol 24. Skin cells renew while you sleep, so I wake up to smoother, brighter skin. Olay Retinol 24 is the boost my skin needs night after night. No wonder it was awarded Best Night Cream. Tonight, power up your skincare routine with Olay. Night mode activated. Olay. Face anything.
Let me show you something, Ace. Watch this.
In the face!
I'm Austin Dillon.
We're about to win. Whitney Dillon, CEO of the Dillon household.
He's looking a little stiff right now.
What do you want me to do with my hand?
I'm Paul Swan. Neighbor.
I'm Mariel Swan, and we've all been best friends for 8 years.
We're like high school kids.
I just drive the race car.
Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane, Thursdays at 9:30 on USA.
With 800 R's in it. Sonic Churro Shake. Churro. Better.
There are those of us who earn our calluses.
Hopefully, man, I don't know what to expect from these races, man.
It takes a special kind of person to build their world from scratch. And a special set of tools. Northern Tool's a problem solver's paradise. There's nothing we can't find, fix, or figure out together. We're made for this. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com.
Whoops.
NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can get access to high-definition in-car cameras, as well as current track position, as well as pit stop data. Visit NASCAR.com/drive, or you can download the NASCAR mobile app. NASCAR Cup Series racing, it's the Go Bowling at the Glen already. 8 laps complete on lap number 9 of the first stage, Marty.
Track drying out quickly here. Chris Buescher came down pit road a moment ago to put on slick tires. Here's Chase Briscoe putting on slick tires as well. Steve, it's really a game and also a gamble. You can go to these slicks, but it's treacherous for the driver early on in this run.
Yeah, treacherous, and I've been kind of watching the 17. Doesn't seem to be making a lot of move, as we see on the top of the screen. The battle for the lead very tight. We'll watch Briscoe. These guys are basically running in the mid to low 82s. That is about, call it 10 to 12 seconds off what we would expect, 11 seconds off what we would expect. So I'm thinking once you break the 80-second mark, Rick, that's when you know the track really has the grip in it. Other teams have gone now. I like the aggressive call, though.
McDowell still out front, has Tyler Reddick hounding him every single lap. Reddick and McDowell have separated themselves by 6 seconds from Chase Elliott, who's running in the 3rd position, still searching out that wet weather and that wet racetrack to keep these tires a little bit cooler as the two continue to fight for the top spot.
Here they come now off turn 1 downhill, continuing that run into turn 2. Michael McDowell and Tyler Reddick have broken away by now 9 seconds over Chase Elliott. This is a private battle for the lead as they climb to the clouds through turn number 3. We're going to go over to turn number 4. McDowell now is going to pad his lead by about 5 car lengths as they continue to look for as much grip as they possibly can.
What an impressive drive by Tyler Reddick here to be able to stay. We know McDowell can do this stuff. We know he's a talented road racer. You see the 22 car on pit road as well. But just an impressive run by Reddick, showing the talent he has. Such a versatile driver in this 8 car for RCR.
I think the difficult decision on when to put dries on is, number 1, how dry is the track? Number 2, how long will these tires last in these conditions? That's why they're searching around looking for wet racetrack on these straights. There's no history, no understanding of what these tires will do, Marty.
Jeff, here's the problem. Tyler Reddick actually sitting there in second in that blue and white car just said, hey, can we come put on slicks? Randall Burnett said, no, we cannot, because we are not in our fuel window right now. If you can hang on, keep those tires cool, please. We want to go about 8 more laps. So, Steve, that's the biggest factor for a lot of these leaders. They want to wait until that fuel window opens to make it on 2 stops today.
So 2 stops, Rick. We figure 33, 34 laps on fuel. If you come at lap 17, right before the pit road closes at the end of stage 1, it's short, 2 or 3 laps short, but you know you're going to get enough yellows, or you hope you get enough yellows to save gas. You only want to pit twice, Parker.
Feeling, I'm not
You're
winning.
going to see some more cars hitting pit road here as we saw the 22 Joe Logano on pit road. His teammate Austin Cindric also coming. Ty Dillon in the 42, Bubba Wallace in the 23, all hitting pit road here to put those slick tires on and get those fast lap times, Marty.
Ryan Blaney going to come down pit road. There he is, Jonathan Hasser. We talked about it. They have the most to lose today, obviously, with these points. So they will not be in their fuel window. Just pitting here on lap 10, working lap 11, but they are going to slick tires. You got to wonder, maybe if Martin Truex Jr. and his team might counter this move as well, Dave.
And we shall see when we get a look, but the battle for the lead has been outstanding right here as Michael McDowell continues to hold off Tyler Reddick, trying to get by him in the Chevy. Truex Crew Chief James Small told me this morning that he believed that the 12 may mirror everything that they do like they did last
Oh,
week.
with a 30.5 second stop.
We'll see what
bro.
happens next with the 19 team. They said they were coming to pit road next time to give him 4 fresh tires, and they'll probably be slicks.
Well, the reason they're going to slicks is that 17 of Busher, the 14 of Briscoe. Briscoe, fastest car on the racetrack on slicks. So I know they were thinking about fuel windows, but right now, if you stay on these tires, you're giving up seconds a lap to the slicks. This is not just uncomfortable for the crew chiefs. This is something new as they go down the backstretch to Dale Jr.
As you look at the top 2 here, McDowell, Reddick, first and second. Look on the screen at the pylon in 3rd position. Glen has ran all the way up into 3rd place. Teammate to Mike McDowell. Pretty impressive run for that young man as you watch the leaders go into the carousel. Still using that higher line. The 8 of Reddick a little bit lower, offsetting just a little bit for Arrow. Yeah, great battle. It's fun to watch these guys going at it. See the 2 different lines down the straights. McDowell using a lot of mirror right there, trying to understand where Reddick is.
All clear, bud. Pin this time, pin this time.
Pin this time. Here they come.
So McDowell will give up the lead, and he will come to pit road to get those slicks put on. That means that the 8 of Reddick stays out, and he will go another lap, but he's now the new leader.
I would assume Gillen would pit, right?
Weekend for Michael McDowell in Front Row Motorsports. They qualified 3rd for this race. They were behind the 2 Hendrick cars. Michael very confident in that move. They go to the slicks. They take the cover off of that vent on the top of the windshield, and they will give him Sunoco fuel to try to get him to another fuel window. As talked about, this won't really steep put him where they want to be, but it gets them on the fast tires.
Well, they have no choice. They basically had to swap over because this guy right here, Briscoe, Chase Briscoe, one of the first tire cars to slicks. He, I believe, is going to cycle as the leader of the race. You see the Xfinity fastest lap at 76.
Barely.
So as he heads into turn 1 on the left side of your screen, you should see the 34 of McDowell just show up. Oh, I think McDowell's going to beat him off, but barely. There you go. That right there will be the race for the lead when everybody
Come on, Briscoe.
tires on. Look how quick. So McDowell's trying to figure out how to get these slicks, and Briscoe's like, man, I've been out here. I got this figured out. He's going to try to attack right away.
For the lead, or eventual lead after everyone comes to pit road to make the change, McDowell still out in front of Briscoe. He was 13 seconds back when he pitted, and now he is right in front of the 34 here.
Oh, he misses the line just a little bit there. The 14 is a little wide. You see the 17 of Busher right here as well as they go through the carousel.
That's Christopher Busher, by the way, Dale.
Christopher Busher, I love these guys.
Finding the grip of these tires, finally putting the pressure back to the 14 here, Jeff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's just a quick learning opportunity right here. Busher has an opportunity to go with the 14 car, knowing that he's got tires and he's had them. He knows how to push them. There's a lot of learning. You see the 24 car, he's on the bottom, wrapping around him.
Look at the congestion here on the front stretch as we see Tyler Reddick coming off of pit road, but the pack is going to go by him as he tries to get off the pit road on those slicks. Here comes his pack of 5 cars.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, it's going to be the same thing again. Briscoe's going to be on his bumper in front of you, Bagman.
Here they come now up the hill. Reddick is out front, but for how long? Here's Chase Briscoe. He's trying to find his way through, almost pushing Reddick through. McDowell almost pushing Briscoe through. And then you've got Christopher Busher there as well. Here comes Briscoe, taking a peek out of the pocket. They're throwing blocks.
They dare not get offline. Oh, look at the 8. He misses the entry to the
Aha!
complete stop here. Serve that penalty. Then he'll pull away. Look at all the time he's going to lose because of that. As these leaders.
Let's go. Let's go.
Running up on some slower traffic here. Yeah, what a great battle we're watching right here. It's so much fun to learn. To watch these guys learn as quickly as they're having.
Let's go. Come on. Come on, Briscoe.
Where are the wet spots? Pushing hard.
The transition from rain tires to slicks and how it's working out for each driver.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I ain't got the one. What the heck was this ad? Get this ad off my screen.
Special kind of care. Venus for pubic hair and skin. Uniquely made to prep, protect, and maintain, whether I'm smoother than smooth or au natural. This is skincare for down there.
Venus. NexGard is the flea and tick protection that's #1 with vets. Your vet trusts it for her patients and her own dog. Plus, its delicious beef flavor is #1 with dogs. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your vet about NexGard.
I get all the pickle I want without having to deal with the pickle jar.
Having to figure out how to open it?
How to open the pickle jar.
Open the pickle
This
jar.
has totally streamlined the pickle process for me. Sonic Big Dill Cheeseburger.
Itchy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. It just cleans better, so your family can use less.
Hello, cream bottom.
Enjoy to go with Charmin. This is the story of two homes. They both have bugs, but only one has Zevo. Want a worry-free way to kill bugs? Zevo traps use light, not odors or chemical insecticides, to attract and trap flying insects. They work continuously, so you don't have to. Trap the bugs and simply send them away. Zevo. People friendly, bug deadly.
Homegrown tomatoes. Nice.
I want to feel in control of my health, so I do what I can.
What about screening for colon cancer? When caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive, and I detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages.
Early stages?
Yep. It's for people 45 plus at average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Consider it done.
I earn Kohl's cash on what I need and spend it on what I want. Thanks to the stand mixer I bought last week, I had Kohl's cash to get something special for date night. When you count on Kohl's for what you need, you get a little more for your wallet.
Series. Maybe it's the pulse of the heartland, or grills sizzling at the campgrounds.
Oh, should have shown the thing. Go, go, go. Don't let him get around you.
And showcasing 4 races. NASCAR playoffs weekend at Kansas Speedway. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
McDowell fighting back. Now it's Briscoe that's out front. He was able to pass Chase Elliott, who's on the slower tires right now, but Briscoe trying to hang on to the lead. McDowell all over his back bumper.
Michael McDowell trying to take advantage of a slip by Chase Briscoe. The problem for McDowell is that slip hasn't happened. Briscoe very fast through the S's on those slicks. Matter of fact, he's going to grab 2, now 3 car lengths in this battle for the lead.
Impressive to watch these two drivers find their way around this racetrack in some very, very treacherous conditions. Not much of a dry racetrack. There's one groove around this racetrack that's dry up through the S's and through the bus stop. Pretty tough for these guys. They cannot push wide like you see right here in those areas.
It's an opportunity, though, for them to start learning and seeing how far they can push. You saw McDowell in that yellow car not being afraid to try to push, try to find those limits. We said earlier, he has nothing to lose and a lot to gain.
The 14 and the 34, Briscoe and McDowell leading this race purely by getting to slick tires first. Their lap times were amazing. They ran Chase Elliott down on the rain tires. That was a great strategy call, and it's got these guys track position. Bottom of your screen, you see Chase Elliott, Marty. He was trying to hold on as long as he could. He's got the lap 17, but gave up the lead doing it.
These Hendrick Motorsports cars, the last one to come to pit road to take off those rain tires. And once Chase Elliott got passed on the racetrack, he plummeted through the field from the lead to 10th in one lap. Alan Gustafson, Steve, was trying to stretch it as far as he could, working lap 18 right here. He told me this morning, we can't really connect it from lap 17. From lap 18, we can connect it to make it on 2 stops. Chase Elliott staying out there, Parker, trying to make it a 2-stop race.
Right, and it's the same exact situation for Kyle Larson, who you saw miss the bus stop. They wanted to get to a lap, would put them in their fuel window. They felt this was the lap and pull them directly down to get on those slick tires finally.
So as this battle rages, just to connect that whole story, these guys that gave up track position, all of those Hendrick cars, they think from here they only have to stop one more time to finish this race. Now you see McDowell says, man, I got to get on their fuel strategy. This is purely a counter to try to not have to pit twice. So he comes to pit road before the end of the stage. That leaves Briscoe out. Briscoe is feeling great about winning the stage now, Dave.
McDowell and Chris Buescher on pit road as well in the 17, so they've made that 18-lap connected lap. You see the fuel there just to get them going.
Steve, they were the only two that were close enough to the leader to be able to get onto pit road before it was closed with 2 laps to go.
Absolutely right, Rick. The 14 of Briscoe, when he took the start-finish line, 2 to go, close pit road, everyone else is committed. The action is furious. It's all over the racetrack. What you need to know at home is we're a lap and a half from the end of stage 1, and we're all going to have to take a deep breath and reset, including myself. This has been a captivating first 19 laps.
Briscoe up front, Tyler Reddick, Suarez, Chastain, and Todd Gilliland, the rookie, running in the 5th position right now. Logano, Ty Dillon, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, and Kyle Busch all in the top 10. Under 2 laps to go in stage 1. Mark Truex Jr. fighting for every point that he can get. You see still on some of the cars the red light blinking. Those are no longer required. NASCAR has said that's not a requirement anymore when you go to slicks.
Yeah, so basically they've just now said that they feel the track is in dry condition. So that is basically what all these cars are now swapped over to. I love this look at Kevin Harvick with the clear visor. You can see the work he's putting in. Truex right behind him. And these guys are almost a lap down, if you could believe it, because in the top right of the screen, you see where the 14 is. He's at the top of the hill. So he's basically the backstretch behind these two. Running in the 28th position is Kevin Harvick.
Man, Harvick's having a bad race.
Briscoe looking to claim stage 1 and grab a playoff point if he can do it, but
William Byron behind him, Rick, is a lap down. So William Byron is hustling right here to try to unlap himself before the end of the stage. He had lost so much time on those rain tires, he's actually a lap down. Now, he will get the free pass. He's in that position,
my leg.
but he would rather just unlap himself because that way he wouldn't have to pit. If he stays a lap down, he gives up all his track concession again. He goes to the tail end of the field. So an important last corner for Byron. Briscoe trying to trap him a lap down. I don't blame him.
Yeah, he won't be able to unlap himself. And it's going to be Briscoe who wins stage 1 at the Glen. From wet weather tires to racing slicks, Chase Briscoe, the first on those slicks, was able to make time. And he ends up winning stage 1. Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, Gilliland, Ross Chastain, all in the top 5. 4th stage win of 2022
Let's go.
for Chase Briscoe.
We'll take it.
Hey, class, this is Lily.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference.
Welcome.
Capella University looks at education differently. Our FlexPath learning
Well,
format
that was an interesting stage. We had
of your math.
tire switching, all that nice stuff.
Make your difference with Capella University.
Corsair, thin skin. Down there requires a special kind of care. Venus for pubic hair and skin. Uniquely made to prep, protect, and maintain, whether I'm smoother than smooth or au natural. This is skincare for down there.
I love the sauce, don't you? So it's not just ranch, it's got a little zing to it.
Yeah, like a dilly ranch. Don't dilly-dally with this. Get to
Don't
Sonic.
dilly-dally, run.
Sonic, big dill cheeseburger.
This is kind of a big deal.
You're a big deal.
Itchy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. It just cleans better.
It's all the help that you need. All around who's gonna be. Talk.
Enjoy to go with Charmin. This is the story of two homes. They both have bugs, but only one has Zevo.
That's good. We'll take that stage, bro. That's a stage one I will gladly have.
Want a worry-free way to kill bugs? Zevo traps use light, not odors or chemical insecticides, to attract and trap flying insects. They work continuously, so you don't have to. Trap the bugs, and simply send them away. Zevo. People-friendly, bug-deadly.
You never leave the house without your loves. Or your big dad energy. Because when you see a leaky situation, you have Loves ready for that pro-level leak protection. Loves. Parent like a pro.
Every week, 4 contestants. 1 liar.
That was our initial strategy. Now you're changing it? I see you, Snake.
I feel that if a man's lying to my face, I'd be able to tell the difference.
You don't know who you're messing with. Will the real Snake
stand out.
Oh my God.
Snake in the Grass. New episodes Mondays 11:10 Central on USA.
And start solving projects today at NorthernSchool.com.
With the intelligent control of all-wheel drive and the power of a 2.5-liter turbo engine, there's no limit to the places the 2022 Sorento can take you, and to the stories waiting for you when you get there. The world's first storytelling machine, the 2022 Sorento. Kia, movement that inspires.
No.
No. Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Can your conditioner do this?
Pantene takes on the workout test. And even after over an hour of running, braids stay 2 times as smooth. With no parabens, no weigh down, and 2 times the nutrients.
Get ready for Raw's biggest superstars, The Miz,
My God.
Edge, and Monday Night Raw, live Mondays at 8 on USA.
Today's aerial coverage brought to you by Geico, giving us a great view of this facility here at Watkins Glen International, packed full of campers, tents, fans coming out in droves, the sellouts, and I hope that they all decided to wait out that little inclement weather that was here so that they can enjoy this racing like we had. That first stage was really amazing.
It was great. You see right here, kind of a split decision. All the strategies right here, but Dave Briscoe on pit road.
He is indeed below him, the one of Ross Chastain. Kept it clean through there. Hit on lap 11. We'll take on 4 Goodyear tires. Fill it full of Sunoco fuel here to get to the next window, Marty.
Terrific radio between Johnny Klossmeyer and Chase Briscoe. He came on the radio and said, if you start up front, can you win the stage? And then he said, our only shot to win is if we pit now to do fuel only here. For Chase Briscoe, 1 stage 1 back for the start of stage 2 in a moment.
Is that going to be fall off? Is bro not expecting fall off on his tires or something?
Intelligent control of all-wheel drive and the power of a 2.5-liter turbo engine.
No, we're doing double power restarts now.
2022 Sorento can take you, and to the stories waiting for you when you get there. The world's first storytelling machine, the 2022 Sorento. Kia, movement that inspires.
43? We won! Yes!
No.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
I'll hold on to that.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Homegrown tomatoes. Nice.
I want to feel in control of my health, so I do what I can.
What about screening for colon cancer? When caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive, and I detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages.
Early stages.
Yep, it's for people 45 plus and average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Consider it done.
Better skin from your body wash? Try Olay Body Wash with skincare super ingredient, collagen. Olay Body Wash with collagen hydrates to rejuvenate skin surface cells for healthier looking skin in just 14 days. From dry and dull to firm and radiant. So I can step into my day feeling my best in my skin. And now, try Olay Body Lotion, which hydrates firmer skin that improves over time.
This can go very good. This can go very bad. We can be, I don't know, positive and say go really good. So we're gonna be positive and say go good.
Parts 1 and 2. Your adventure starts following our race coverage right here on USA.
We're gonna say it was good.
Congratulations to the driver of the 9, Chase Elliott. The first time he's ever done it. He is the regular.
Congratulations! Congratulations, you got the championship. Congrats. Congrats, buddy.
Those 15 playoff points. He knows other people will get some, but
Congratulations. What a great accomplishment for my boy.
For NASCAR, look at that double file. If we take a little look at the front stretch, one thing to point out, though, while there's a dry lane, there's still some dampness on the right side. So if I'm one of the cars,
How far back is Briscoe?
I'm gonna have to really be careful down to turn 1.
Dog, how many actually stayed out? I'm confused. Why did all these dudes stay out? Holy crap.
About to get underway. The field approaching the Geico restart zone. Back to action. Gilliland in the 38 on the inside. Trying to hold off Logano on the outside of the 20.
Please, no deadlies, please, no deadlies, no deadlies, no deadlies, no deadlies.
The track will he go? Enough that he hopes to get grip and traction as he dives into turn 2.
Got some new players at the front of the field. Todd Gilliland now takes the reins of this race. He will lead Joey Logano by 4. Side by side behind them. That blue car on the inside of that yellow.
That is Ty Dillon.
That is Ty Dillon. And now they're 3
Oh, no.
the back straightaway.
Takes them 3 wide.
Oh, he's gonna miss it. He misses it. Oh, he doesn't miss it. Oh my goodness, he went in extremely deep. I didn't think he was gonna make it. Good stuff.
First time they've been through that interlude side by side, still running this racetrack. How about the rookie Todd Gilliland showing the experienced guy Joey Logano what he's got on this road course? Ton of confidence on road course. Todd Gilliland impressing everybody.
So all strategy you see on the left-hand side.
Come on, Briscoe.
9-10. They have to stop 2 more times to the finish. McDowell, the first guy, they can stop 1 more time. That's what swapped up this field. How about Kimi Räikkönen, F1 champ?
Oh, P9.
On this strategy, great experience running at the front, learning quickly, Bagley.
Kimi Räikkönen on the move. What a maiden voyage in the Cup Series for him. He's trying to wedge his way underneath and slide through. He'll do that at the bottom of turn number 2 at the bottom of the S's.
Hey, come on, Briscoe. Come on, man. Briscoe back to sucking, unfortunately. That's kind of how good the season is, besides the one he got, so.
Yeah, we really didn't see as much movement as we anticipated from Kimi under the wind conditions, but now that they're on the slicks, you can see a little bit of a mistake right there, losing the back of the car a little bit in the bus stop, but that's put the 9 and the 17 pushing side by side. Chase Elliott right here, the Xfinity camera, watching Kimi do work.
Chase Elliott trying to understand who am I racing right here. Do not have any experience racing at Kimi. With Kimi Räikkönen, doesn't know his strengths, doesn't know his weaknesses. Kimi's having to learn these drivers, and they're having to learn his strengths as well.
Briscoe was falling like a rock, bro.
Now trying to figure a way around the F1 World Champion here at Watkins Glen. And again, Gilliland out in front. Logano a half a second behind him. Kyle Busch has moved in front of McDowell. Those guys will all have to come to the pit road before we see the 34 of McDowell come to pit road.
Running on board with Chase Elliott right now as he works his way up through the S's. You mentioned how he's trying to figure out what he's racing against. Well, right now, the best way is to follow him through until you get the opening. That's exactly what Chase is doing right now. Closing up on the back bumper, looking...
Woo! Kimi shot the block!
Kimi throws the block. Now they're going into the bus stop side by side. Chase backs out. Still right there on the back bumper. Looks the inside now on the carousel. We're going to be side by side to the carousel here. He's going to give the spot to Chase on the corner exit.
Goodbye, I like that.
He came here to race. Put a block on Chase Elliott. Force Chase Elliott to get aggressive in another part
some other names in front of Kim. We got Joey Hand running 6. We've seen him in a lot of the road courses. That yellow car right there holding up the lines. Corey LaJoy, he cycled to the front. Just in front of him, or right behind him, excuse me, is that 41 of Cole Custer. That's who Chase is attacking here into 1.
That is the battle for the 7th position. Corey LaJoy in 7. He's in the 7. Cole Custer in the 8, right, or in the 41 in the 8th spot. Here's Joey Logano. He's running in the 2nd position right now. And Kyle Busch, after that great restart, is still moving forward. He wants a piece in 2nd.
That's a great run here by Kyle. He put the pressure on Joey. And they
Still got Busher.
Curb there. Man, these cars abuse the curbs. Through the bus stop. They closed in a little bit on Gillen right here. Joey trying to get up there and battle for that lead. Kyle Busch right behind him. Yeah, really good battle. You see, now they're starting to run that traditional line, use all of the curbing. Todd Gillen continued to do a good job. See, the 18 right there, Kyle Busch, a little bit of a wiggle getting into turn 6. A little bit of an overbreak, he was able to get control.
And the two-time champion Kyle Busch opened up this weekend about how difficult it has been not having a contract for next year to drive for Joe Gibbs Racing. He doesn't know what his future holds, and he said it's been sleepless nights.
Oh my goodness, he overshot it.
Todd Gillen wants it back. He'll move back to the inside of Logano, reclaim the lead before they even get to turn 2.
Logano smoked it in there, man.
Jostling has allowed Kyle Busch to close in, and it's also allowed another yellow car to close in. Michael McDowell in the 34 car. 4-car breakaway, 4-man free-for-all for the lead on the back straightaway.
Here comes Kyle Busch up on the inside of Logano. He backs out. Logano really overdriving the inches, really pushing a lot. You saw him slide the right front tire. Now down to the inside of Gillen. Gillen's car's slowly going away here, struggling with the balance of the 38. He's going to give up several spots, being very careful on that outside in the wet.
Oh, Lord.
Off the pace. Off the pace, headed to you, Jeff. Yeah, he's way off pace. You can see him wiggling the car back and forth. Is there any chance he's out of fuel? I don't know, but saw him wiggling the car.
Is it a flat tire?
Yeah, there's no as he goes, oh, yeah, as he went by me, you can hear the engine acting very oddly, saying he might have broken an axle. What a shame.
Dang. Bro broke an axle.
We talk about the abuse over the curbing. That's something that can happen. As you jump over the curb, the weight comes off the rear tire. If you can land, it's not really an axle like it used to be going to a normal 4.9-inch. It's a little bit different the way this drive system works.
Wow.
But it still takes power and brings it out to each rear tire. That's what sounds like the issue is on the 38 car. Not something you're going to be able to repair on pit road. So, of course, they'll do their due diligence. Marty.
They're going to check the rear end here. Remember, they finished top 5 at Indianapolis, so they're putting the rear tires on, Steve, but they do indeed think it's a broken axle. And a moment ago, Todd came on the radio, said something is broken in the driveline, no doubt about it.
Too bad for Todd. Did such a nice job. Joey Logano still looking good, Rick.
Still out front. Kyle Busch running second. McDowell is
Dang.
here at the Glen.
I feel bad for Gillen, bro. He had a good run going, man. That's tough, man. You can't make that up, unfortunately. Feel bad for the guy.
Can your conditioner do this?
Feel bad for the
workout test. And even after over an hour of running, braids stay 2 times as smooth. With no parabens, no weigh down, and 2 times the nutrients.
Did I tell you I bought our car from Carvana?
Yeah, Mom.
It was so easy. I found the perfect car. Under budget, too. And I get 7 days to love it or my money back. I love it. I
Oh, well.
got online and no one to help me. But Susan from Carvana had all the answers. She didn't try to upsell me. Not once. Because they're not salespeople. Where do you guess who just checked in on me? Susan from
That's a bummer for him, man. Bro had a great race going. That's crazy. Broken axle. I'm like, bro has been having a terrible. It's not even his fault. He's just had unlucky. He's a rookie. Unlucky season. And it's just that's the fire.
Every bite tastes salty and sweet to the next level.
I didn't even know people were watching my stream, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't even know that going on. Truly do apologize. I need to check the stream more. Yeah, Gillen just went to the garage apparently. Yeah. Yeah, sorry for everyone I missed. Sorry Dakota. Sorry Tyler. Sorry JP. Didn't see y'all, man. Didn't check chat. That's on me. That's very upsetting on my part. I gotta be better.
There you go.
Just whatever. Kivy it to the garage as well with the mechanic, but you dang.
Here you go, sir.
Oh well.
Healthier is managing.
I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks. Nothing you can really do about it.
Get out and do.
Gotta just accept the facts. Things happen. It's all good though. We'll be fine. What other things can happen in thy race tonight or today?
10 laps to go in stage 2.
Not much.
Watching the NASCAR Cup Series. Go bowling at the Glen. And let's see who is on the move. Power Moves brought to you by
Not Chase Briscoe.
Education and Research Council. The 18, Kyle Busch, definitely on the move. Plus 30 since the start. So Kyle Busch, after starting this race, because they did an engine change after qualifying at the back of the field, all the way up to the second spot right now, chasing after Joey Logano.
Kyle Busch down this straightaway in the braking zone. Can't really close the gap on Joey. Keeping a nice little gap between him and McDowell. And we've seen, the 18 car doesn't have the results, but they've had races like this, where they have been passed at some point or another, showing that
What's going on with Briscoe? I'm like low-key curious.
a lot of odd things happening this year, Jeff. Yeah, a lot of odd things. We talked a lot about. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Let's see.
We got a spin.
Oh, we got a spin? Who's won?
And then, anyway, the bus stop, the 8 cars involved.
Oh.
Until a bit under his
77.
As well. Rockefeller. 8 car right there trying to get refired. Gonna get it started. Get over here on the asphalt so we can get out of there. Luckily, it looks like there's very minimal damage. Just hope those toe links are all straight there, Tart.
Yeah, that would be my concern. I thought for sure they were going to get stuck in the mud, but he drove away no problem. So right now you see Logano leading Kyle Busch. But right here, I want to bring this to your attention. 2-stop strategy, which was what everybody on pit road thought was the best strategy. They only have one more stop ahead of them. Leading McDowell, second on that strategy. Chase Elliott, third, Chris Buescher. So while Logano is leading the race with Kyle Busch, those cars, Rick, only have to stop one more time. As we look at the top of the screen, it looks like some contact, Junior. I couldn't really see how it got started.
Everybody did such a good job right here trying to avoid everybody able to get through there without no problem. And Tyler Reddick, there's a lot of track position. He's got the pace, though. They'll figure it out how to get that track position back.
Marty.
So, Rick, all those strategies that Steve just talked about a moment ago, Chase Elliott and his team, they can do it on one more stop, but it's going to be tight on fuel. But Alan Gustafson opened up the green light for the end of the stage. Listen.
Talk to me about some strategy stuff. And when I get to help, get a second. We'll do. If you can make progress and potentially win this next stage, we'll do it. If not, just save what fuel you can so we can make it to a window or whatever number.
That fuel's so tight, Dale Jr., but they're trying to make it on one more stop. So they want that playoff point, no doubt about it. 7 to go here in the stage. Talking to a couple of crew chiefs down here, they think, no doubt, Chase Elliott and those guys on the right strategy today.
See right here in the bus stop. Right at the Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon having a pretty solid little run right here behind him. Doing hands as well.
Driving is still nice, but that's really good.
Hanging on to the tail end of that 9 car. Running right 5th and 6th position. Got Ty Dillon. We talked a lot about Kyle Busch not knowing what he's doing next year. Ty Dillon in the same situation. No one corrects him going in this car. Starting next year, Ty Dillon is rehearsing, auditioning every single week for his ride. Trying to show everybody in the sport that he can still get it done.
Number of seats running out, though, is the problem for drivers like Ty Dillon. When you have Kyle Busch out there also searching for a ride, potentially, if he's not coming back to the 18, He goes to the top of the list as far as drivers looking for positions.
Marcus Erickson apparently running his yap on Twitter. He says,
Joey Hand, and further back as they come off the end of the front straightaway and diving down into turn number 1, Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. You've also got Ross Chastain around him in the 1. And you've also got Loris Hazelman's now flying around his outside as everybody now trying to work their way through the S's. And now here's Daniel Suarez right behind the 19. He's looking for real estate. He's got a lot of work to do to get by Truex.
Martin offline here. Going to go in there side by side with the 99. They're going to continue to battle through the exit. Suarez is going to get that position right behind the motor now, put the pressure on. Martin struggling today, just don't have the good speed or the pacing we usually see from this 19 car. It's not been the same 19 car in the road courses since
Kimmy P10. Let's go, Kimmy.
Kyle Busch, though, having a really good day up in second place. I'd say this is the best we've seen a Toyota run all year on the road courses, but Truex struggling.
As we're riding along with Martin Truex Jr. and the Toyota onboard camera, you got Denny Hamlin, who stayed on the rain tires a little too long, is a lap down.
I don't even know Denny's a lap down. Denny. You're a funny guy, brother. You're a funny guy, Denny. Denny Hamlin. Funny lad.
Ooh, looks like the new guy picked up lunch. New DQ signature stack burgers menu. 5 premium burgers that are anything but boring, so you can make an impression. Like a really good
There's a different way to treat HIV. It's every other month injectable Cabenuva. For adults who are undetectable, Cabenuva is the only complete HIV treatment you can get every other month.
Cabenuva helps keep me undetectable. It's 2 injections given by my healthcare provider every other month.
It's one less same thing about why travel.
HIV pills aren't on my mind. A quick change in my plans is no big deal.
Don't receive Cabenuva.
What are you talking? You know what I got? I'll tell that out, but I got. Yeah.
Serious side effects include allergic reactions, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. If you have a rash and other allergic reaction symptoms, stop Cabenuva and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have liver problems or mental health concerns, and if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions, fever, and tiredness. If you switch to Cabenuva, attend all treatment appointments.
Every other month, and I'm good to go.
Ask your doctor about every other month Cabenuva.
School is back at JCPenney, and the savings are too, where the style is head to toe, and every day is jeans day. So just mix, match, and play. Your uniform is complete. Stock up and save. Shopping is back.
Whatever happened to Chucky?
Oh, I hate that doll.
When do we get to start stabbing people?
Glen, Glenda.
I need Tiffany to get what's coming to her. He's gonna come for a second. It's just a doll.
Wanna pray?
Download the official app of NASCAR. You can follow the action with free live scoring. There's in-car cameras as well as...
No, Kimmy! Oh, you did have to pit, I forgot.
Start a retrial. Parker.
Kimmy, no, Kimmy. You will not have the drink. Kimmy, you will not have the drink. So upsetting. I would have been cool if you got top 10 on stage. That would be nice.
The engine in that 19 car. Baby that motor so that he doesn't have the same problem that 2 of his teammates have had this weekend so far.
Little contact here.
Oh, my. Alright, watch you be hitting, bro.
Yeah, that's 27 here. The 19 has to get across the 27, maybe a little conservative on his time, and 19 trying to be quick. These are scheduled stops before the end of the stage because this man right here, Joe Logano, is going to take 2 to go right there, and that closes pit road.
It'd be funny if he got called for speeding for doing that after he did that. It'd been hilarious.
Important playoff point. 2 drivers that feel they are off into the playoffs. They are going to try to win this stage for that playoff point. I couldn't tell who that was that just went by. That was slow. Oh, no. The 7 gas man, I think that's going to be a penalty for removing equipment. We'll have to hear what NASCAR has to say. But there was another car slow that they passed. I couldn't tell who that was.
It's just coming off the pit road as the top 2 going into the bus stop now. Barney.
So a moment ago, Rick, we told you Chase Elliott, Alan Gutsis, and told him, hey, if you can get the stage win, go for it. They have since backed him down. Listen to the radio.
As much as you can give us. You got no pressure back. Say what you can here. Good time to learn.
Yes, sir. Time to learn.
This was in their playbook from this morning, pitting at lap 17, which they did. They knew it would be tight to do it on one more stop. Chase tried to get the stage win, just not worth it, though. They're just trying to do it on one more stop to hit it back way down.
First, I don't want to tell with that. I think that was a good race. That was a good run. That ran good.
You know, you stop before you know you can make it. What's concerning, we haven't seen a lot of yellows.
Say it's my fault with my heart on my sleeve. Hold on, nice.
Right now, Logano's got about 3, maybe 4 car lengths in hand over Kyle. Kyle should probably take this second place finish of this stage and then go to the final one. No need to put that car in a precarious position. Although, he's done it before. The question is, can he do it in the next half lap?
I think Logano's certainly got a comfortable lead. Neither one of these guys are going to push that hard to make that type of mistake. I don't believe the 2 veterans. Kyle, though, getting that wide entry, that's a unique line into the carousel to be able to try to maximize the acceleration on corner exit.
Yeah, right now, Joe Logano coming to the end of the stage. Just no mistakes. Get in these corners easy. Don't try to leave too much speed on corner exit. Simply make no mistakes. Get the stage win.
Logano already 2 wins in the 2022 season and 3 stage wins. This will be stage win number 4 for Joey Logano as he takes the green and white checkered flag here at Watkins Glen.
Yay!
Continuing a great run.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm sorry.
The 7 for the Joey, we showed you that.
Joey hand out a boy, brother.
Now that is removing the equipment out to start at the tail of the field for the 3rd stage.
Kimi, you will not get the drink, Kimi. You will not get the drink.
But it was Joey Logano locking up that right front, still getting stage 2 wins.
Ready to start something great? Text free to 33898 will get a 7 days free.
I like, a strong, independent woman. I don't be stressed.
Text free to 33898 and get 7 days free. Why wait to take a break? Text free to 33898.
When you grow big time.
With every generation, the Subaru Forester has been a leader in crash safety. Working to undo the impact a crash can have on your life. Which has led the Forester to even be able to detect danger and stop itself. The Subaru Forester has earned the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus 9 times, more than Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 combined.
Pulling up on body, hit myself like pulling, no, we just pulling on tight. Lady girl, she's running on the same way. I do what I do, not reaching all the heights. Wanna see what I say, now I sip a Sprite. Play me now, little girl, and I'm beautiful like money, just keep an eye.
The new boss is
Call me the business, yeah, got a witness. Pulling up, now they coming like a citizen. Paying hitting a girl, hitting her like a civilian. I honestly, she on way.
It's true, everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy Z for the 4 with Galaxy Trade-in. And gear and ignition.
Really? Even if my old one is like this?
Why?
It's
Oh.
okay, people.
I will be right back. I just need I need to do something real quick. I'll be right back. I will be right back. I'm just gonna turn my camera off. I can still listen to whatever y'all listening to. I'll be right back. Don't worry.
The next generation of Wi-Fi is here with supercharged speeds faster than a gig. Unbeatable internet made to do anything so you can do anything. Xfinity, proud premier partner of NASCAR. Coming up on Wednesday, Dale Jarrett will join the Bagman. That's right, Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone on the morning drive, and DJ is going to be the guest on NBC Sports on Sirius XM. Bagman, what do you think? You guys going to have enough to talk about?
Oh, I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Pete and I always love catching up with DJ. If we're not talking about racing, could be talking about golf, could be talking about anything, DJ. What do you think?
Yeah, we can talk about anything, but I'll probably be talking a little slower because it likes to be 6 o'clock where I'm going to be at. But I'll get up, I'll get ready. Looking forward to it. Always a fun time covering what always happens. What an incredible start to this day and this race, KB.
Listen, I'm not sure you can cover it all on the morning drive. You may have to do that too, because there's been so much. Started in the rain. We saw some great drives. How about Michael McDowell? We talked to him earlier. He said, I'm feeling the pressure. I know this should be a good race for me. Daytona should be a good race for me. We have seen some spectacular drives out of Cup drivers and so many varying conditions. Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah, we keep talking about Kimi Räikkönen. He's running in the top 10. They put him in position, and a lot of it's strategy. But so many things have happened here. This wet weather, this car, these drivers, it is an honor to be sitting here talking about Cup drivers today because they have shown what they're made of.
Yeah, but the thing that's going to come to play here possibly, because we haven't really seen, other than the stage endings with the caution, haven't seen any of that. There's some drivers that are going to be really close. They're going to have to save some fuel at the start of stage 3 here. So it could get very interesting as to who actually can and will make it.
Listen, I'm glad that I don't drive right now because staying on the racetrack and saving fuel are two things I'm not sure I could have ever done. I have to say, but it has been. We've seen some great calls from the pits. We've seen some great strategies. We've seen so much positive stuff here today. It has been for these fans that sit here through the rain and are sitting in the grandstand, and the ones at home that have waited it out. It's been a show, Rick.
It definitely has. As Joey Logano will lead Kyle Busch onto pit road, as well as others making their way onto pit road. Parker, in front of you.
Right, and that blue car back there is Ty Dillon, who finished 5th in stage 2. This excellent run in these variable conditions. Very happy that handling that race car stage is turning well before Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for him. They're going to tell him to wait on that fuel, Dave.
Stage winner Logano said, I need more turn, but I can't afford to lose to the back end. He came into this race today 3rd in playoff points. He'll get one more there, Marty.
These are the teams and drivers that pitted at lap 9 or 10. They will have one more stop today. Kyle Busch needs more front grip. They're thinking maybe on that final stop, fuel only. Little drag race there between Kyle Busch and Joey Logano off of pit road. Stage 2 wrapped up. Logano wound up getting the stage win here.
We're going to grab something, but Briscoe, awesome. Great. Briscoe in the pit with his hood up. Awesome. And we'll have great.
We are not afraid of growth.
We are built to do hard things.
I want you to feel alive today.
You are a plate of fajitas at a packed restaurant turning heads.
Sizzle, baby.
Keep sizzling.
Great things take time.
You are tougher. Peloton. Motivation that moves you.
Does it get better than never getting lost? Does it get better than not parallel parking yourself?
Alexa, ask Smart Feed to feed the dog.
Does it get better than feeding your dog from 50 miles away? Yes, it does. At Buick, we see a future that's even better. Because the life-enhancing innovations you've never even dreamed of, Buick is dreaming of them every day.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
School is back at JCPenney, and the savings are too, where the style is head to toe, and every day is jeans day. So just mix, match, and play. Your uniform is complete. Stock up and save. Shopping is back.
D, ask your doctor about breast tree.
Cracked windshield?
Trust SafeLight. We'll replace your glass and recalibrate your vehicle's camera so automatic emergency braking and lane departure warning work properly. Don't wait, schedule now.
SafeLight repair, SafeLight replace.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains. It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Propane, environmentally friendly energy for everyone, and by Go Bowling. Go to gobowling.com to find a center near you. What a run it has been already for the 34 of Michael McDowell. He is out front, but it's not only the driver that's behind the wheel making things happen, it's an entire team effort, Dave.
Well, it certainly is, Rick, and we want to redirect folks to NBCSports.com to relive the story of Brett Sancelli and his sister, Courtney. Brett has dedicated his life to taking care of his little sister after she was involved in an auto accident early in their lives. Instead of being selfish and just worrying about himself, he took care of Courtney, brought her through life, watches over her every moment he can, even got to school to have her be the homecoming queen. And in dedication to her, the diamond on the left side of his chest doesn't have an S for Superman, but it has an H for heart, because that's what it's all about. Kelly's and Brett has shown.
Let's get the camera going back up.
With his sister Courtney. Today, his driver has cycled to the front after pit stops and did not take his time. So McDowell in position to win. And what a story it would be again.
Ignore me not having to do it now right now.
NBCSports.com. Here are Dustin Long narrate the story of Brett and Courtney Sancelli.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. What an incredible story that we have been able to be a part of on the pre-race show. And you can see that again, as Dave just mentioned. But a great story there for Brett Sancelli, sister Courtney, and their family, and what they've gone through, and how giving that family is. But it's Michael McDowell who is out front of Chase Elliott and Joey Hand. Joey Hand's going to be on a little bit different strategy. He won't be able to get as far as the others will. But Marty, what about the 18 of Kyle Busch?
Had to come back down pit road. A penalty on that last stop, Rick. Kyle said, what happened? What was the penalty for? Ben Bayshore said, we were 1 inch over the front line. So when they did come back down pit road, Steve, they did top off with fuel. But Kyle Busch now even further back, going to have to restart in the 30th position.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that is tough. So we talk about strategy. You see last pit on the left-hand side. You see the 18, 17, those laps right there, 16 for Stenhouse. They're trying to stretch the fuel to one more stop. You mentioned Joey Hand. I don't believe he can do it from lap 12. But Parker, a good run for this 15 car. Joey Hand consistently been behind the wheel at the road courses.
No doubt, Steve. And actually, the team just came on the radio and told him he's 2 laps short from being able to make it to the next window and to save fuel throughout this run, see if they can just hold on to that track position.
That'd be an impressive strategy call if they can stretch it from 12. Before the day, I didn't even think you could stop before the stage. With what I expected for fuel strategy, Marty and I had this conversation. He gave me his updates of what he's heard from some of the crew chiefs, and that's when it became apparent they could go farther than I was giving them credit for. But for lap 12, that'll be impressive for Joey Hand.
Once again, 2x2, the field getting ready for the start of stage 3. The final stage here, there are 47. It will be 46 laps to go. Field approaching the Geico restart zone. McDowell first in the gas into the 34. On his outside,
whoa.
The of Chase Elliott, so good at this racetrack. And McDowell,
oh, we got one in the grass. That's injured, bro.
They're stacked up further back, bouncing off each other, sliding off course 4, 5
God,
wide.
there's no way they're not going to wreck.
They're looking 3 wide for the lead. Michael McDowell under attack now from Chase Elliott.
Oh my God, Christopher Bell hit Christopher Busher.
Christopher Busher, you've got a whole slew of cars now wrestling for real estate to the back straightaway.
The front 3 are centered out. Look at that pack behind them. Christopher Bell and Christopher Busher side by side through the bus stop. Bell's going to take the position. Everybody behind him having to check up his Busher. Just a little bit for the injury of the carousels. You watch the top 3 here.
Oh.
Now the 3 car around here. We got the 91 as well.
No, Kimmy.
91 car as well.
The 91's making made contact with the wall, it looks like there, Junior.
Kimi Räikkönen in the 91, and he has made contact with that inside wall. You see the flaps up on
Come on,
the
Kimi, get it running.
The damage to the tire barrier. See if we can get these cars started and moved away.
Yeah, I think the damage is on the left side of the 91. Looks like the left front has some damage. Oh, yeah, pretty heavy damage on the left side. Now that we're kind of getting around there with the camera.
Oh, he's done.
I believe this is going to end the day for Kimi Räikkönen.
No.
Unfortunate.
Dang, man. Oh, no, Kimi. I want to see Kimi so bad.
Fun time, this Project 91. Let's take a look at it, Junior.
There you see in the middle of the bus stop, just some contact when the left rear quarter panel of the 3 car sends him around from the 1 of, I believe, Ross
Chastain killed him, bro. Oh, my God. How did Kimi wreck?
Obviously, ran wide probably on the exit. So right there, I believe the 1 car gets in the left rear, sending the 3 around, and Kimi is on the inside of all this and gets ran wide. He jumps a tire on the 27 car and sends him right into the tire barrier.
No. Dang.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything the 91 could do at that point. Everybody stacks up. Oh, this would be a great shot at the 91. You're going to see him just get pushed left, right. There.
So Kimi Räikkönen had climbed out of the car, the AMR safety team there.
No.
He is coming back out of the car now. Different, obviously, for Kimi Räikkönen, something he has not done before in the Cup Series. He will take the mandatory trip to the infield care center to get checked out. But Kimi Räikkönen, we saw him running up inside the top 10 early in this race. The F1 World Champion, now out of the race after this incident on lap 45.
And all those cars that were reportedly very close on fuel, they love to see this yellow riding around, saving gas.
Caution has come out for the 3rd time here at Lapid's Glen, this time involving Kimi Räikkönen.
That stinks, bro.
With the intelligent control of all-wheel drive and the power of a 2.5-liter turbo engine, there's no limit to the places the 2022 Sorento can take you, and to the stories waiting for you when you get there. The world's first storytelling machine, the 2022 Sorento. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hurry into Mattress Firm for our lowest price ever on the Serta I-Series Hybrid Collection. For a limited time, save up to $1,500 and experience exclusive technology designed for the coolest, most comfortable sleep. Only Mattress Firm has the I-Series in stock for fast delivery with 0% interest for 60 months. Take it home and sleep soundly with our Love Your Mattress guarantee. Get the lowest price and 120 nights to sleep on it. Try the Serta I-Series today at Mattress Firm.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This Always Ultra Thin is our best yet with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with our ultimate Always Ultra Thins. This is triple protection from Always.
Sci-Fi's Resident Alien is weird and wonderful, a cult favorite,
pretty undeniable,
hilarious, and extremely entertaining. Resident Alien, all new Wednesdays at 10 on Sci-Fi, and streaming on Peacock.
WWE Raw superstars Bianca Belair and Montez Ford take a spin with NASCAR legend Jeff Burton.
It's time to go fast. Yes. Was that moment? All right, with the legend. Let's go. Oh, I live with it. I am the fastest.
Watch Monday Night Raw and catch all the action of NASCAR only on USA.
That was amazing.
The NTT IndyCar Series has just 2 races remaining in their season after last night. Joseph Newgarden getting the win at WWT Raceway. Next stop is Portland, Oregon. Catch the action Sunday, September 4th. That's on NBC and Peacock. And we are in the 3rd stage here. You're watching NASCAR Cup Series. Go bowling at the Glen, Marty.
We have talked, Rick, about how tight this window is for Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson to make it to where they want to be, lap 56 or so. Here's a radio transmission when Stage 3 got going.
Any opportunities you get throughout this next stint to save, please do so.
So, Steve, what a welcome gift this caution is. I know it's only a few laps, but you're sitting on top of that pit box like Alan Gustafson. You wanted this.
Oh, yeah. Like I mentioned, we hadn't seen a lot of yellows in the middle stage, so an early yellow here helps. You can usually save, just a good rule of thumb is it takes about as much fuel to run 1 lap under green as it would to run about 2 or 2.5 laps under yellow. So that helps you get to your next window. Really, as we see 44 to go, they'll take the green at 43 to go. You know, I think these guys want to pit 34, 33, 32 to go, somewhere in there. I'd be interested to see, as you see right now, fuel remaining. It's starting to get very low on some of these cars.
Getting ready for the restart.
Here we go.
Michael McDowell.
Restart time.
Side by side. Once again, Chase was able to utilize that space just outside of turn 1 last time to get a great
We are,
run.
oh my goodness. Just go ahead and wreck.
4 wide behind him once again. 3 wide again coming into turn 2.
Michael McDowell's able to hang on to the lead. Chase Elliott's trying to hang on to second because here comes Christopher Bell. Bell in that yellow and black car will move his way to the number 3 position. You got Kyle Larson, Joey Hand there. Clean restart and clean run up to the S's.
Yeah, Joey Hand lost a couple of positions there on that restart through turn 1 and 2. Christopher Bell here now showing up on the stage. Larson as well rebounding from an earlier bus stop penalty to get himself to the top 4, but to the inside. Comes the 5 car of Larson trying to make a move on Christopher. They'll be side by side now. It's just a battle to the brakes. Who can outbrake whom? You can see right now the 5 car with forward momentum able to brake harder into turn 6, gets that position. Joey Hand behind trying to follow around.
Yeah, that fight for 3rd won by the 5 of Kyle Larson. He's taking that spot over. It's still McDowell in front of Chase Elliott, then Larson. And right behind him, Christopher Bell trying to hold on to 4th.
Leaders come downhill into turn number 1. You're watching Kyle Larson there in the 5. You've got the 9 of Chase Elliott right behind
Kyle's running wide.
McDowell. That 1-2 Hendrick Motorsports punch has been billed as the class of the field today. But they're going to have to get around Front Row Motorsports and Michael McDowell. McDowell now up to about 4 car lengths with the lead to the back straightaway.
Incredible race so far for Michael. He's really kind of been the guy to beat today. Look at a couple of names in the top 10 as well that we usually don't see. Stenhouse Jr. back there in 8th place. Eric Jones running well in 9th as well.
Oh, he's there.
Way back up to 7th position after some issues early. Got a battle for the lead though. Headed to you, Jim. Mike McDowell got very loose in that carousel. Chase Elliott taking advantage of it. Going to outbrake McDowell to take the lead. Now McDowell's got to just go and stay calm. Don't get upset. There's a long way to go. Keep racing hard.
Chase Elliott, 4 wins already in 2022. He's back out front. He's won here twice, looking to make it 3 times, but he still has to think about that fuel situation. Stopped a little bit earlier than Michael McDowell. McDowell has fallen back to 2nd now.
Chase Elliott now back into familiar territory, back to the top of the leaderboard. Michael McDowell, though, right behind him, about 4 car lengths as Elliott climbs the hill to turn 3. That's the left-hander. Here's turn 4. That's the right-hander that feeds onto the back straightaway. Chase's lead now, about 3, maybe even 4 car lengths.
Got to give it to this 9 team. The strongest team on the road courses over the last several years. Didn't quite have it figured out with the 19 cars. Trackhouse was dominating, had the fastest cars all the road courses earlier in the year. Chase Elliott showed up, though, when it matters here in Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott, you can see with his extension.
Joey Hand top 5, by the way.
Shot as he enters turn 6. He's going to heavy brake, downshift, back to the throttle hard. Getting ready to go to turn 7. Another downshift. Head to the front straightaway.
And every now and then we see the eyes of Chase Elliott glancing back up into the mirror as he looks back to see how much distance he's put between himself and that car of Michael McDowell. Now McDowell is under fire from the 5 of Larson. Larson continuing to close the gap on McDowell.
Right now about 1.5 seconds behind the race leader. A half a second behind Michael McDowell. Put that separation at about 3 car lengths now as they cross over into turn number 3. Good shot there of Kyle inside. Very cool, calm, and collected. Of course, you'll have that after even win the Xfinity Series race here like he did yesterday.
You know, a lot of these drivers right here on different fuel strategies, and Chase Elliott's safe, and he's driving away doing it. Dowlow's sitting right here in front of that 5 car, trying to maintain track position, but also trying to make his fuel mileage work. Again, the 5 car right on the right rear quarter panel.
Yeah, Larson gonna give him another lap or two.
Really make a move, not able to put it sideways. He gets a little loose on throttle there.
And Bagley talked about how calm Chase Elliott looks. Let me tell you why. He is so fast. He is driving away.
Chase Elliott might not be able to see all the way back to 6th, but he might want to be told who's running back there because that's A.J. Allmendinger. Remember, he spun early, but Allmendinger has fought his way back. He's in the top 6 and a definite threat for the win here at Watkins Glen, but it's still Chase Elliott out front.
A.J. Allmendinger trying to crack his way back.
I'm going to Joey Ham, bro.
After that contact earlier with Austin Cindric. Right now, he's 3.54 seconds behind the race leader. He's been all the way to the back. Now he's working his way to the front, but he's got a whole lot more work to do, and he's got to get through some tough customers to get out there and wrestle for the lead and take it away from Chase Elliott.
You can see he's been sitting around this position for the last several laps, not able to close on Joey Ham. Joey Ham getting a lot out of this 15 car right now as he tries to close in on Christopher Bell.
Oh, congrats.
We know that this equipment is good equipment. Typically, though, we see it toward the back half of the field. Got a really talented driver back there behind the wheel making it happen.
Yeah, he's also helped several of the Ford drivers trying to hone their road course skills. Joey Ham's been a good addition to the Ford driver roundup. So important to be good on road courses. There's so many of them, you better find a way to be effective on them.
Who the heck is
McDowell, Larson, Bell running in that 4th spot. Time now for an exclusive Toyota nonstop.
Hi, I'm Kurt Busch, and this weekend, my number 45 Camry TRD will carry the all-new Toyota SmartPath platform at Watkins Glen International. Unfortunately, I won't be behind the wheel, but Ty Gibbs, who has been doing an incredible job subbing for me, will certainly give all you fans a show. SmartPath is Toyota's all-new digital.
Oh my God, who is that 27? Who is driving that? He nearly about to kill someone, gang.
Trade-in values.
What's he doing?
Before even stepping foot.
Bro, what is this? Oh my, come on, Briscoe. This is what you're dealing with, bro. Oh, my leg. Oh, my ankle. Oh,
log in, drop in, and drive off in their new car.
Come on, Briscoe.
And again, Kurt Busch, hoping he gets back to a speedy recovery. He's out for this race and for sure Daytona. Hoping to see him back for the playoffs. He is still in the playoffs with that win, and there's still a fight right now for that.
I wish it was John Hunter something in that car, bro. All I had to do was show his clean racing skills, man. Guarantee he would have been in that car if he just showed that good racing.
Here he comes down the hill into turn number 1, looking further back. Good battle stacking up there from 4th on back. Christopher Bell right now in 4th. Got Joey Hand there in the 15. And then you've got A.J. Allmendinger who's trying to make that a solid 3-man fight. Then you drop back, and you got one more trying to get added into the mix. That's the 17 of
Let's go, Busher. That's my pick. Come on, Christopher.
But it seems like they've stabilized out, Dale, and no one's really tried to or able to make advancements there in that battle.
Yeah, the last lap through, Hand was all over the back of Christopher Bell in the carousel, but now you see Christopher with a little bit of a helping gap there. And now A.J. trying to get to the backbone of that 15 of Hand and attack.
Yeah, A.J. Allmendinger, we know how good of a road racer he is. We've seen him win so many Xfinity races, also Cup races. He's got his work cut out for him, though, passing Joey Hand, but he'll put a lot of pressure on him, trying to force Joey into making a mistake. Joey will have to be on pit road for too much longer for fuel.
In the 10th position is Ryan Blaney, as we see the 15 of Joey Hand coming to pit road. Marty.
Joey Hand comes to pit road. They pitted at lap 12. You know who is thanking Chase Elliott profusely right now? You mentioned his name, Ryan Blaney. Blaney is sitting in 8th position right now. When Michael McDowell was leading, you mentioned it, Rick, he was out of the playoffs. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. all the way back in 21st, and that has dramatically changed the playoff standings. Right now, Blaney plus 39. We could be looking at a scenario next week, Rick, where Martin Truex Jr. might be in a must-win situation at Daytona. Final race for the regular season next week.
Riding on board to Kevin Harvick, Ford. Thanks to Northern Tool for giving us this great shot. Watching his car work through the bus stop, little bud on the windshield. All that happens on the windshield, just like the camera. So the windshield gets dirtier and dirtier, harder and harder to see out of throughout the race.
Kevin Harvick in 12th place. It's been a battle for this team the entire weekend. Coming off 2 wins in a row, this weekend's just not gone as smoothly as those has, but he is continuing to fight, worked himself up to 12th place.
What a hot streak Kevin Harvick's been on, won the last 2 races, and here he is running in the 12th position. And the pit stop way, we saw Joey Hand a lap ago. Now it's Chris Buescher and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who have decided to make their green flag pit stop.
Right, Steve, pitting out of the top 10 there for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A great run here on the road course, and now with about 35 laps to go, we'll see if he's able to connect this to the end, Dave.
Remember, Chris Buescher was the first one in to put slicks on versus the rain tires. So again, hitting a little bit early here. Their get-home lap, they're calling 55. We'll have to save a little bit to get from here. A little bit slow, waiting on the right-hand side, waiting for the fuel, and off he goes.
That's just how long it takes. When you are taking 4 tires with a single lug, you can change them for about 15 gallons of gas. These guys need their full 20 gallons. You saw how long they had to wait on fuel. The question now is Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson, when will they pit? Everyone who has pitted, if the yellow comes out, they would cycle to the front. So it's risk versus reward. How far does the 9, 34, and 5 dare to go as the 5 gets really loose in turn 6? My goodness, that was a big save by Larson. Here comes McDowell. Larson will follow him. So that answers your question. Elliott stays on the racetrack.
Parker.
Right, and you saw it there in turn 6. Larson just struggling in that dirty air behind McDowell. They're just unable to get the car to do what he wants, and it's getting tight at times in traffic, and then you get that loose on the exit. It's 4 tires for him, and filling it full of Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Crew goes over the wall, including tire carrier Brett Sancelli. They'll try to get Michael McDowell on off pit road with a fast stop here, but again, waiting on fuel. Remember, 1 extra lap compared to Chris Buescher, who came in, and now they will send him away. Joey Logano on pit road as well. This will be their get-home lap. They put on left side tires and fuel it. He didn't have to take as much, right, Steve? He pitted later.
Yeah, so basically they're just trying to, they're afraid of those yellows, Dave, right? So they're coming right now. They don't have to wait as long for the fuel. You see what the advantage is, Dave. Great point. He catches right back to the 34 because the 22 had the requirement of less fuel. I assume the 9 will come this time. But Burton, how about that save by the 5?
Yeah, Kyle Larson. Watch him as he gets into turn 6. Downshifts, tries to throttle up, and just sideways trying to go to that throttle. Rear tires did not hook up. That shows you how hard you got to drive these race cars.
So now risk reward. You see the 9 standing on the racetrack. Come this next lap. So right now, Alan Gustus is saying, just don't yellow. Let me just get this 9 on the pit road before the yellow comes out, or we will lose our track position to these cars. Parker.
See AJ on there and pitting here from the top 5. Really fast race car here as we went into the dry conditions. He told me he was really happy with this race car after yesterday's practice and that they were, quote, in the ball game, Marty.
Here comes the group who pitted at lap 17. Among those guys, Ryan Blaney coming to pit road right here, saying he lost the handle a little bit towards the end of that run. No word on Chase Elliott's radio as to when they would pit. You see that big wedge adjustment for Blaney as well. Interesting to keep in mind, Tyler Reddick and also Kyle Busch came down. Flash of fuel only for both of those cars. Remember, they topped off under that last caution, so we'll see if they gain a lot of track position as well. In a track race off pit road, Chase Elliott still on the racetrack.
Chase Elliott going through turn 6 and coming up on turn 7. Good opportunity for him to make his way to pit road this time, and he will.
So now it's basically
Could be funny if he sped.
Chase Elliott against his teammate Kyle Larson. On the upper right hand, you see the 5 going through the bus stop on the track map. The 9 is on pit road. Larson, the first car on the racetrack that can make it to the finish. So this would be control of the race. That is a long time on pit road. Marty for the 9 of Elliott. Slow down there to the stall. We'll see if we can beat the 5 out.
Oh, that is excruciating for the driver. This is exactly the lap Alan Gustafson wanted to hit pit road. When I talked to him this morning, lap 59, got to pull the windshield wiper up to get that tear off. Chase Elliott said, I think I hurt the front tires early in that run. That's on me. Wants no other changes on the lap. Waiting on all the Sunoco fuel to get in. Now let's watch the Glen. Going to be tight with his teammate.
No, it isn't. It's not going to be tight.
We've seen this.
What?
Putting drives on that. Exit of pit road, kind of shortcuts turn 1. Look at the big advantage. That short pit exit around turn 1 puts the 9 back out in front of the 5. Currently not the leader of the race. They're in 6th and 7th respectively. But the first 2 cars on the racetrack that can make it to the finish on fuel.
Larson, McDowell chasing after Elliott now, but it's still Custer, Cindric, LaJoy, Austin Dillon, and Rockefeller that are the top 5.
Chase Elliott coming out of the bus stop into the carousel. Downshifting hard. Right behind him, Kyle Larson. McDowell not far behind him. Those 3 cars right now setting up to race to the finish. Big advantage for these cars. Look at the gap that they've created. If you need to save fuel, now's the time. You got a teammate behind you if you're Chase Elliott. You got McDowell multiple seconds behind. If you need to save a little fuel, you can do it right now.
Out in front, 2 Hendrick drivers. It is
Yeah.
Larson chasing.
Give me a yellow.
You're sitting there thinking about quitting? Don't. Because today, we are not.
You like a good yellow.
We are built to do hard things.
I want you to feel alive today.
You are a plate of fajitas at a packed restaurant turning heads.
Sizzle, baby!
Keep sizzling.
Great things take time.
You are tougher. Peloton. Motivation that moves you. It's true. Everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 with the Galaxy Trade-In. Any year, any condition.
Really? Even if my old phone looks like this? Why?
It's okay, people. I've trained for this.
It's not complicated. New and existing customers get a free Galaxy Z Flip 4 with the Galaxy Trade-In. Any year, any condition.
Doctor will be in to see you shortly. Hi.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference. Capella University looks at education differently. Our FlexPath learning format lets you set deadlines and earn your nursing degree on your schedule. Make your difference with Capella
Alright, guys, I'll
University.
be back. I gotta go do something real quick. It shouldn't take long. Hopefully it won't take long. But if it do, then it do. Y'all still get all the streams of the race and all that, so.
Start with real meat and are made with the ingredients kids need to grow up healthy and strong, like taurine to support healthy heart and eye development, and DHA to support cognitive development. Help give your new best friend a healthy head start, and see why so many pet parents choose Blue.
They have this unbelievable ability to literally drive a car on the edge of control.
That's the goal, right? Chance to race for a championship.
My life insurance policy's up to date. I know what I'm signing up for.
Be a husband, be a father, be a race car driver. To be the best, it takes everything that you have.
It's NASCAR Cup Series racing. Go bowling at the Glen. And our aerial coverage this afternoon, once again, brought to you by Geico as we look down on this facility. And out front, it's still Cole Custer, Corey LaJoy, Austin Dillon, Rockefeller. They are still out in front of the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 5 of Kyle Larson, but that is because they have not come to pit road. They're going to need a little bit less fuel than those other guys, Steve, but the time on pit road is going to push them back. They'll probably come back out into the 14th, 15th position.
Yeah, they're basically just using this clean air. I mean, these are the fastest laps that Cole Custer's run today just because of the clean air. Same for LaJoy, Austin Dillon, Mike Rockefeller. Out of that traffic, they're kind of enjoying a little bit of clean space. And to your point, we'll have shorter pit stops. That's the strategy call at least for.
The third caution came out earlier today, and it was for the 91 of Kimi Räikkönen. He went to the infield care center, and Parker caught up with him just moments ago.
Kimi Räikkönen released from the infield care center here. Kimi, you were involved in that incident out of the bus stop. Was there anything you felt you could have done different there to avoid it?
Yeah, I wasn't very involved with it until I had a good line there, but everybody seemed to come on the left. Unfortunately, I had no time to react, and yeah, the impact was small. Apart from the first impact, somebody hit the tire or the wheels directly, and the wheels spun, and something wrong with the wrist, but that's how it goes.
I know it was shorter than you wanted, but did you enjoy yourself here in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, it was good fun, you know, and yeah, felt more confidence all the time, and you know, had some good battles, and yeah, it's a shame. I think the car felt like it had a lot of speed in there, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Will we see it come back?
Well, we'll see. I don't know myself either, so thank you.
Kimi Räikkönen, again, the world champion, was running up as high as 9th at one point in time during the race. After they switched from the rain tires to the racing slicks, and was looking very impressive until that incident in the bus stop. Still up front, it's Custer. He hasn't come to pit road yet. We'll have to do that, as will LaJoy, Dillon, and Rockefeller. Now, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, those two can make it all the way to the end, as well as Michael McDowell. And there's Christopher Buescher in the 17, just in front of that 43 of Eric Jones.
He has been involved in the battle with Eric Jones for a while, but he's also been involved in this huge pack of traffic in the back half of the field. Right now, he's been able to break free. Chris Buescher has been able to break free of Eric Jones, and right now, he's in the 16th position.
Yeah, a lot of cars on so many different strategies, and there were some short pit stops that sort of cycled him back behind a few cars that are on older tires, taking advantage of those newer tires and the pace of the car, making a few passes here, trying to drive. You see the 11 and the 4, those guys kind of riding in the back of the pack earlier in the race, working their way midway through the field.
Oh, we got 14 car in trouble.
It looks like an innocent spin, maybe a little damage to the right front. On the 14 car, let's take a look here. Heading on down into the braking zone. Him and Chastain getting pretty aggressive. Oh, Ralph spins. Both cars spin. They chased each other through the mud, it looked like. Yeah. Maybe there was a reason he was chasing him too, but I don't know. Ross continues on as does the 14.
There's 14 of Briscoe. Had a good run early on. And now Briscoe after the spin.
There you see the lead right there. The lead between the 5th and 6th place car, Chase Elliott and Larson. Still waiting on the top 4 to come to pit road. At some point, Chase Elliott, though, seems like he's trying to put a little bit of distance between him and the 5 cars.
Yeah, you really wonder right now, what is the strategy with these two guys right here? Look, you can't even see McDowell behind them in the picture. So clearly they're running hard, but you wonder if they need to be running this hard. Maybe save a little bit of tire. Maybe that would be in their best interest. See a good battle right here. Buescher underneath the 19 of Truex. Truex continuing to struggle today.
15th and 16th for Buescher and Truex Jr. as they come out onto the front stretch. Truex Jr. out of the playoff picture. Ryan Blaney currently in based on points, Dave.
And Rick, it's just been a tough day for Martin Truex Jr. The good news is the motor is still operating well in this Toyota Camry. The bad news is the handling and the speed have not been there for Martin. He said he just had no grip anywhere the last time before he came down pit road. James Small promised he would give him a little bit of a fix. A little less of a complaint on the handling now, but way too far forward for Truex to go to make something out of this day. Currently running now way down to the field, Rick, and it's just not been a good day for the guy that needs a win to get in the playoffs.
in that 16th spot right now. And Parker, we see Cole Custer coming onto pit road now.
Right, this should be a fairly fast stop as you see the fuel there. The team goes over to put tires on. So he pitted from the lead here like you saw Austin Cindric do, but they're electing to do 4 tires. Cindric was able to rejoin around 13th or 14th. We'll see where Cole Custer is able to rejoin after this pit stop.
So let's just see where this works for Cole Custer. Right? We know he's not going to take the lead. Chase Elliott's easily going to go by, but we see, all right, so we see Cindric right there. Cindric is the 13th place car. I'm thinking somewhere inside the top 20 for this 41 car. We see Buscher come by right here. So now he has fresher tires. He knows he's good on fuel. Tires haven't been a huge advantage. But look, I mean, Truex, we just talked about his day. He's running 16th, the 41 car. That was a nice strategy call by the 41. Run up front, run those fast laps, come in, need less fuel, quick stop, and it puts him back on the racetrack. I mean, inside the top 15. That's...
Oh, we got a spin and a bus stop. The 51 cars around.
Cody
Ware, he's going to try to rejoin here. Not impeding anybody else's progress as he does that. He's got into the bus stop just a little bit too hard here. And there he goes. Great job sort of avoiding any kind of issues there, getting turned around.
So now you see the 77 of Rockefeller to come to the pit road. So to put it in perspective, Austin Dillon is running in the mid-30s on this restart. So when he pits and he reblends, if he's anywhere inside the, say, top 25, it's a huge gain. Inside the top 20 is even better, because I don't believe the 3 thinks they have a car that can drive up 10 spots. So, you know, we talk a lot about strategies to win, but everyone on pit road is grinding over how you can get your driver any positions possible. Marty.
Remember, they pitted on lap 46, so much further than everybody else. All the guys coming right now, lap 42. And your point's exactly right. If you're Justin Alexander, Steve, you kind of take this gamble, see what you can get out of it. But from lap 46, I mean, there's no way, Steve, right? I mean, there's no way they can make it. Couple cautions, though. They have no indication of coming to pit road so far for Austin Dillon. In fact, they just told him you're the leader. He went, really? I am?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm a little surprised here because I don't believe there's any way they can make it. I mean, it would be a long ways. I shouldn't say no way. It would shock me. But now the concern, the risk is the yellow. You know, now he kind of is going to go by everybody that stays out. But now, Justin Alexander, the crew chief of this car, might think that 20th on back comes for tires and fuel anyway. So it'll be interesting to see Corey LaJoie right behind him. The 9 of Chase Elliott running him down.
Yeah, 4 seconds back is Chase Elliott right now for that lead as well.
Your puppy depends on you. And you can depend on Blue for the nutrition growing pups need. All Blue puppy foods start with real meat and are made with the ingredients puppies need to grow up healthy and strong, like DHA and ARA to support cognitive development and high-quality protein to support healthy muscle growth. Help give your new best friend a healthy head start and see why no other natural dog food brand is more trusted than Blue Buffalo.
At Ring, we've reinvented the doorbell, and now we're reinventing home security with Ring Alarm. It's the simplest, fully customizing, easy installing, home protecting, monitor everything. Camera watching, flood sensing, frozen pipe alerting, smoke detecting, door locking, Alexa integrating, panic diverting, crime deterring, professional monitoring, first responding. Security system that we've ever invented that you can pick up and install on your own today. Learn more at ring.com.
Did you know your skin has a night mode? It's why I use Olay Retinol 24. Skin cells renew while you sleep, so I wake up to smoother, brighter skin. Olay Retinol 24 is the boost my skin needs night after night. No wonder it was awarded Best Night Cream. Tonight, power up your skincare routine with Olay. Night mode, activated. Olay, face anything.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This Always Ultra Thin is our best yet with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with our ultimate Always Ultra Thins. This is triple protection from Always.
Premier League mornings is on NBC and Peacock. Arsenal, Fulham. It's a London derby. Premier League mornings. Arsenal, Fulham on NBC and Peacock.
Can you spot the snake?
Push all the way up. All the way up with your foot.
Ryan is really struggling.
Don't look like a snake.
But me with my chicken arms could do it. I feel like something is snaky here.
Snake in the Grass. All new Mondays after 1.
NASCAR fans, don't let anything pass you by. The official app of NASCAR Tracks lets you stay up to date on the latest race and event information from all your favorite tracks. Search NASCAR Tracks in the App Store to download for free.
Watching Chase Elliott here trying to close in on the back of the 3 car. Austin Dillon's going to be taking that position for the lead here soon, Jeff.
Yeah, Chase Elliott has been running Austin down quite a bit of lap. Can take his time, does not have a lot of pressure behind him yet. Larson about 15 car lengths behind him. There's Larson in his rearview mirror. Right here, I think Chase Elliott will get a turn. Just go to the right a little bit and outbrake Austin Dillon into turn 1.
Right now, it's the 9 and the 5 that have separated themselves from the field. Of course, the 34 of McDowell, he is back there, but he is a good 8 seconds behind the top 2.
Chase Elliott exercising great restraint right now, not putting himself or that car in any sort of a bind to reclaim the lead. It's going to happen. The question is where and when. He is drawn up 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Austin Dillon for the point. Not in any position, though, to make a pass, even in this break zone right here. You see Larson closing in. Larson gained a lot of time the last time by, now underneath second behind this 9 car. Chase is going to try to look inside here. Austin Dillon's going to let it go into the carousel. Also, the 5 car going to try to fall in there and take that position as well to fall into second. Right on the back bumper this time, Chase Elliott. Chase going to look in the mirror. He's going to have some company.
Yeah, Chase Elliott may have gotten a little bit too patient with Austin Dillon right there. Has allowed Larson to wind up, cut that deficit in half, just like Chase Elliott not being able to get around Dillon as fast as he needed to.
Last 2 champions fighting now for the Watkins Glen win here. The 9 of Chase Elliott and the 5 of Kyle Larson. Larson closing the gap. He's less than 3/4 of a second behind race leader Chase Elliott.
18 laps to go, and it comes down to Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. They've been the talk of the racetrack all weekend long as the teams to beat, in that order, by the way. You talk to people in the garage, will say, man, that 9 and that 5, they're stout. But Chase Elliott has a winning record here at Watkins Glen. But then again, Kyle Larson does as well. He won yesterday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Coming to 17 laps to go, this will be a good judge of speed and pace between the 2 vehicles. When we get this back to the start-finish line, the last time by, Larson was a half a second faster than Chase Elliott. What kind of lap time will he run this time?
Yeah, how often is this? Be able to ride along with both drivers, see what they're doing, how they brake, how they downshift, where they do all those things. We got a Hendrick battle for this win.
This is a great shot right up top. You see on the left side, that's Chase Elliott working, and to his right, that's his rear bumper. Looking back at Kyle Larson. On the bottom, Kyle Larson, and it's his roof camera looking out at Chase Elliott. So you see the work, and you also see the distance between the 2. Look at the work they put in and the precision required to run these laps.
It's amazing watching them come through this portion of the racetrack, Stevie, with the laser precision that they've been doing it all day. You're looking back from Chase Elliott. You're looking forward from Kyle Larson. As now we go over top and watch how they attack this racetrack and the lines that they use in which to attack, and they're headed to the interlude.
That last time, 18 car, Kyle Busch is around. Just look down toward turn 1.
That's Kyle Busch has got looped around, and now we'll spin the car back around. That blue flag alerting everybody in that portion of the racetrack that there is something askew, but he does get the car righted. And I know a lot of people wanted a caution flag right there, but he just doesn't get it. They don't get it. Kyle Larson, or I make that Kyle Busch breaking loose on his own in the straightaway between 1 and 2 with a little pop to the Armco on the inside.
Yeah, hit pretty hard. You wonder about that toe link, that rear suspension piece, and if it would survive. Taking another look at it as you divide. I think maybe a little moisture, or maybe just got loose, but watch this hit. I mean, that's pretty solid hit, that could bend a suspension component. So we'll have to just see as the 18 rejoins how it goes. Guys, Kyle Larson ran into him last night. We congratulate him on his win in the Xfinity Series, and he had something great to say. He said, when I was chasing William Byron and Ty Gibbs, I had a judge in front of me. I didn't overdrive a corner all day. And he said, all of a sudden, those two wrecked, and I was the leader. I went into turn one for the first time. I don't know where I lived. He said, I didn't have a mark. I had been chasing people. That comes to mind as we ride with Kyle Larson, because that's what he's doing again, right? He is judging everything off from Chase Elliott. He kind of has a rabbit to follow. Now, listen, he closed out the Xfinity Series race. I think he was being a little humble about his talent. But it was interesting that it was that much different for him the first time leading that race. Marty.
You're going to love this Hendrick Motorsports head-to-head battle for the win here at Watkins Glen. Kyle Larson trying to make his way through some lack traffic. Interestingly, you see right in front of Chase Elliott is Ross Chastain. He said on the radio a moment ago he could see that he was catching the one. He said, talk to that one. Make him let me by if you can. But I love this clear advisory. You can see Chase Elliott watching Kyle Larson. Meanwhile, behind the wheel, Kyle Larson only focused ahead. Only one misstep today for the 19. Chase Elliott said it was on him. He ran too hard early in the run. He's going to have to hold on to keep his teammate behind him these final 15 laps, Parker.
Right, Marty, and Kyle Larson is to beat Chase Elliott. You've been seeing how he's been catching times. Now just lost a bit of time there as they were going through those different corners of traffic. But he was watching him down in the bus stop. I had an interesting conversation with some of the HMS teammates, and they said after qualifying, they were looking at the data, and Chase Elliott had about 2/10 on all of them through that section right there in the bus stop. But the closest of all the drivers there with him was his 5-car, Kyle Larson, who now the team just came on radio and said he was matching him in the bus stop, and all he had to do was just correct his entry to 7. Otherwise, he's matching the 9 toe-to-toe. We'll see if he can run him down and try and get by him for this win.
During those updates, we saw the 7 of Corey LaJoie come to pit road. He took gas only. So we'll see where that puts him back in the running order. Cindric, it's been a little bit of a quiet day out of Cindric. There was a couple times he popped up. He's currently running in the 11th position, right behind Eric Jones. This 43 car continues to impress me, Rick. Every time we see him, he's getting more out of this equipment than what I thought I have seen out of it. And then Harvick, you know, 2 race wins in a row. He's feeling pretty good right there behind him. What a great view. Northern Tool on board this 4-car with his in-car camera. This just really shows you the 2 cars in front of them and the work they're putting in.
When we look at the lap times of the 2 leaders, though, last couple of laps, Chase Elliott half a second faster than Larson. The last 3 laps, half a second faster. So driving away back to a 2-second lead, opening up that 2 seconds quickly.
Watching this battle coming into turn 2, the battle we're describing just outside of the top 10 between Eric Jones and Kevin Harvick. Of course, you're on board with Harvick right there. He's trying to track down Eric Jones. That's been a good battle that's been developing for about the last 5 or 6 laps. It has just left the S's and is headed to the bus stop.
Harvick was way in the back early in this race when the track was wet. Not really confident in the car. The team worked hard, the driver worked hard to put themselves in this position, following Cindric. Eric Jones right there around the carousel. Could be another good solid finish for this 4-car. Yeah, look at Eric Jones. Steve said he just continued to impress, doing a nice job putting pressure on Austin Cindric. You know how good of a road racer Austin Cindric is. And I say a good day, although Kevin Harvick, we've seen 2 wins in a row. This is really a move by Eric Jones, an aggressive move. Kevin Harvick should be able to take advantage of this as well.
Eric Jones taking 12th away from Cindric, and Harvick also looks to the inside of Cindric. He wants the position also. And the 43 is going to lead them into turn number 1. Harvick follows him, and he takes that spot away from Austin.
Oh, the chase is going around the 1 right there. Sorry, Bagley, I was going to mention the 3 of us and Dylan. I talked about that strategy. We saw him run up front for a long, long time. He just pitted, came down, and got some fresh tires and some fuel. And I think he's going to cycle inside the mid to late 20s. So we'll just have to see if the strategy works out. So he's in front of Harrison Burton. Harrison's running 27th. We talk about strategy calls. Restarted 32nd, blended 27th. I don't know if I'd call that a huge win, but now he has the freshest tires. If the yellow does come out, he'll feel confident to stay on the racetrack. Now he's thinking, it was so much more fun when I was leading. Up front there, all by myself.
The gap between 1 and 2 still growing. 2 seconds separating Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Listen in to Chase Elliott's audio.
You're good, bud. 14 laps better than a 5. Just take care of your stuff. If you can pass the fuel, that's fine, but don't let him get close to you.
Oh, big contact from the 15 of Joey Hand. This might bring the caution out that the 3 was looking for, those fresh tires. Stack them up and do it again. This could get interesting, Rick.
Caution comes out for the 4th time. He was running 15th.
Yes, heavy damage.
Rear quarter damage. The spoiler looks okay, but the top of the quarter is pushed in, maybe rubbing the tire. Don't focus.
So a restart, Steve.
Well, first the decision is who pits and who doesn't. All the leaders, they're kind of committed. Let's take a look at what happened to this 15. Oh, he just gets loose. So he pulls to the inside of the 19 and makes the pass, just loses the back of the car. In the old car, we would have talked about wheel hop into that tire barrier. You see the space behind the tire barrier. That's on purpose to allow that to slide. So I don't think I think he just locks the rear tires or just gets loose. There's no road tire. I didn't see a tire slide. Just too much speed. Misjudged the entry, turned down in there, got loose. Truex has thankfully slid in front of him. This is going to get your attention right here if you're trying to save some points on board with Truex. Look to your right. Here he comes. You know, it's going to be interesting.
Go right, you're clear.
I want to hear what Joey Hand has to say about that. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk to him, or maybe we'll hear on the radio. But very talented road racer. That was a pretty big misjudgment on speed, so I don't know if he had an issue with his race car, but I mean, he was 5-10 miles an hour faster than the 19.
Similar to what we saw out of Kyle Larson when he slammed it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So back to your point about the restart. So Elliott, Larson, McDowell, Allmendinger. I'm actually excited to see how fast Allmendinger can run because he put some really good lap times down. So can he compete with those 2 Hendrick cars? But the real decision is, you know, can you afford to come to pit road or not? We know the leaders won't, but somebody is. Somebody mid-pack or towards the back is going to put some fuel on to make sure you're good for a green-white checkered, put some fresh tires in it. So we'll have to just see if and who decides to pit.
Ross Chastain is going to get the free pass. He was just passed by Chase Elliott to go a lap down, so he was the highest scored lap down car.
Yeah, and just a quick update, we saw Kyle Busch spin around and hit that Armco. They had to come to pit road, change tires, small repairs. I couldn't see what exactly they changed, but he is a lap down as well. Will not be the free pass this time. So if you're a Kyle Busch fan, currently 34th, 1 lap down.
Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they have been fighting over the last few laps for the lead. Elliott has it and had been putting a little distance between himself and his teammate. McDowell running in the 3rd spot, Allmendinger 4th, Reddick is 5th. Remember, McDowell is in a position, if he were to win this race, and we have seen it where 1 and 2 take each other out fighting for that top spot. If McDowell's able to win this race, that would be 16 different winners, and that playoff picture gets very tight, especially for drivers like Ryan Blaney and Mark Truex Jr.
So on board with Truex, remember, came in at 26-point gap. He's currently 4 spots in front of Blaney. With a car that he has not liked all weekend long. The Toyotas have not been great. There was some engine concern. They're all still running. So the real question now, though, is you know, will it take a win or will it take points? Truex has never won the super speedway. You know, Blaney won there just last summer, so he has to feel like he needs a win. But if it comes down to points, every point's going to matter. So now with 10 to go, Blaney is running 18th, Truex 14th. If Truex pits, does Blaney chase him? If Truex stays out, does Blaney decide to pit to get on new tires? And regardless of what they do, think about the restarts we saw in Indianapolis at that road course. I don't think it'll be quite 5 wide here at Watkins Glen, but turn 1 is going to get busy. So first the decision time is, do you pit? Yeah, not shocking that the front 10 or 15 don't pit, but someone, I think, is going to think tires matter.
Pit road is open.
Cindric just showing his hand. No, they're just messing with each other. Nobody's pitted. We see Truex go by. So here you go. The guys at the back of the field, including William Byron, they're going to pull some of the guys at the back on the pit road, but the 2 guys, Blaney and Truex, did stay on the racetrack.
So a few takers on pit road, but they are far in the back. It will be a battle between Elliott and Larson when we return.
With every generation, the Subaru Forester has been a leader in crash safety, working to undo the impact a crash can have on your life, which has led the Forester to even be able to detect danger and stop itself. The Subaru Forester has earned the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus 9 times, more than Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 combined. Love. It's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Pain used to keep me from what I love most. Not anymore. Blue Emu gave me my horsepower back. It's the powerful relief my joints need.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
We're no etiquette experts, but biting into your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich and ending up with a whole pickle slice dangling from your mouth isn't impolite. It's human.
It's really hard to win these races. The best in the world out there competing. When you get it done, it's a hell of a feeling. When you grow up a race car driver, you dream of getting to race at Daytona.
This is the biggest race of the season because it determines who will make the playoffs.
Daytona falls at such a crucial time in our playoffs, and you go to that race knowing that anybody can win.
We end our regular season there with a lot of pressure, obviously, for some people trying to get into the playoffs. It's just a totally different atmosphere and intensity than when we go there for the Daytona 500.
Final race of the regular season, and it will be on NBC for the Cup race and Countdown to Green and Xfinity Series racing on USA on Friday night. So Friday, Saturday nights matchup. Xfinity Series Friday on USA, Cup Series on NBC and Peacock. All right, Steve, not locked into the playoffs, but they have won at Daytona. Imagine if it comes down to this and all of these drivers have an opportunity to make the playoffs.
So the conversation in February, the first time we went to Daytona, is don't come back to Daytona needing a win or scared.
I'm back.
It eliminates you for this reason. All of these names have won there before. They could win again. I mean, Austin Cindric proved it, right? He broke through.
I'm back. How many laps we got to go? 9? Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go do something.
He's not locked into the playoffs.
Let's go, McDowell. Let's go. Busher, come on, Busher. Come on, Busher. Christopher Busher. Yes. Oh, my brother's talking. I don't want him talking. I can hear him. I don't want to hear him.
Someone's got to win the race. Just wait. You got to run every lap and every corner. We saw the two fastest cars take each other out.
Just don't try and hear my brother. Don't try and hear my brother. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Chase Elliott on the outside. Fans on their feet here at Watkins Glen. They fan out as they go to turn number 1. McDowell, a little contact from running behind him.
Oh, man, he...
Drive up the racetrack, and they're 4 wide coming out of turn number 1, and it's Chase Elliott out in front of Larson.
Elliott will grab the lead. Larson will follow him through into
Thought they have a right,
the
Chaz.
position. But here comes A.J. Allmendinger. He'll go to third, and Joey Logano banging quarter panels and wrestling his way into the 4th spot as they race up the backstretch.
A.J. Allmendinger, that's the guy that's dangerous right here for these two leaders. Larson following the 9 car. Look at those cars lift off the ground over the curves. I think Chase Elliott's got a lot left in the tank of this 9 car. We're going to see some incredible laps out of him here with 8 to go.
I think Kyle Larson knows that as well. I think Kyle's got to push exceptionally hard right here if he's going to have a shot. We saw Chase Elliott driving away from Kyle Larson on over tires. So right now, push as hard as you can.
Chase Elliott now with a 2-car length advantage over the 5 of Larson. Larson still trying to track him down, but he has time. 8 laps remaining here at the Glen. Elliott in front, Larson running second. Allmendinger, a full-time Xfinity Series driver in the 3rd spot.
Chase Elliott running for his life right now. He's trying to keep Kyle Larson and A.J. Allmendinger both behind him. So far, so good for Elliott. He's been able to leg it out over Larson by about 5, and then it's another 2nd and a 3rd.
We got to spin over.
Oh.
In between 6.
Is it going to get going? Oh, he's stuck. It's going to be a caution. It's going to be a caution.
In this sand trap, there's going to be a caution. There will be a caution. He just cannot get out without assistance. The yellow is out.
Lawrence Hesseman is stuck in the gravel pit. Caution is out. Another restart.
A single car incident, came in here by himself, lost the car. Look how deep it's dug itself into the sand pit. The sand pit's there to slow the car down so it doesn't impact the wall on the other side of it. The negative is, once you get in them, you're stuck.
Dang.
So this will take a little while to get the 27 out of that sand or gravel pit. Jeff, right in front of you.
Yeah, you can see him just overshot the corner and good regain control of the car. Now he's just along for the ride right into the gravel pit.
Two-time Euro Series champion was running in the 32nd position as now the track crew has gotten to him. We'll see how long it takes for them to pull him out, but now under 7 laps to go with this field going by the start-finish line. Crew working as quickly as they can. While we've got a minute, let's check in with the Peacock Pit Bot, and it's DJ and KP. Guys, what are you thinking about the finish of this one?
Listen, I have no idea. The most dangerous thing in cup racing is restarts, okay? And we're giving these guys additional opportunities to take shots at Larson and at Chase. Have you seen anybody out of that pack that you think can?
I don't think A.J. Allmendinger has the car to keep up pace-wise, but this restart, he knows if he gets in front, then he's going to be extremely hard to pass. And so I look for A.J. to maybe take an extra chance here, trying to get down into turn 1 and seeing what he can make happen. And as you point out, that's the most dangerous thing is someone trying to make it happen, and then all of a sudden, everything you've worked for is gone.
We've seen it all year long. Turn 1, turn 1, turn 1 in Indy, turn 1 everywhere we go. We saw them fan out there. We saw a lot of blocking. We didn't see a lot of contact. But then you have these incidents like this. This is a gravel trap, okay? Yeah. I thought they took all of them away from Watkins Glen, but this is a gravel trap. It takes a couple extra laps. We know a couple of guys are good on fuel. Out of this pack, when you look at the day that Michael McDowell has, it's been a phenomenal day.
Yeah, Logano's had a great day. You look at Reddick up in there inside. Christopher Bell coming from the rear with that. Eric Jones up inside the top 10, and Chris Buescher there. So a lot of good days for a lot of people, Parker.
Right, DJ, and Kyle Larson was hounding Chase Elliott there. It seems like they're so evenly matched. Catch up with Cliff Daniels, Kyle Larson's crew chief. So where do you think Kyle needs to find a little something to beat the 9?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. Our HitterCars.com Chevy team, we've executed a great race. I think we've got a good car. You know, the tough part is the 9 car is great too. And Chase has done a good job of executing his race. I think they're going to race each other really hard, really clean for the end. I hope we've got a little something left in the tank. It'll be interesting to see, you know, where we can get it. I don't know if it'll be in the bus stop or if it'll be a good 6 to 7 exchange. But I know Kyle, and I know he's been sizing them up the last few laps. So I could be many to go when we take the green. So proud of our team and proud of everybody at Hitter Motorsports. Thanks to all the guys back at the shop for giving us, you know, really fast cars. And hopefully we get to keep them up there for the end, and one of us needs to bring it home.
Well, they feel like they may be able to get it done, Dave.
And Alan Gustafson just getting a little radio transmission here. Remember, these crew chiefs are still communicating with their driver as they need to before they can chit-chat with us for just a second. And we'll ask you first, Alan, did you like what you saw in the last restart, the lane choice? You wanted to go there again?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to him. We retain the lead. I don't really know what's going on inside the car, you know, into the corner and, you know, all the dynamics that go on there. So, yeah, I mean, we retain the lead. That's obviously the objective. So we just do that this time and how many ever more it takes.
Correct, and we could get to overtime. Does this caution, did you need it? You didn't need to get to the end, did you? But did you need it for overtime?
No.
Okay. All right, his man's getting ready to go. He'll lead the green again.
Worked next to Allen for a long time. That's a game face right there. And when he gets in these moments, what makes him so great is that he's very cordial. Spoke to Dave, but you can tell he can only give us like 10% of his brain to answer those questions because the other 90% are completely engaged in this race and his driver, Chase Elliott.
And I want to take a look at the Toyota driver update. Christopher Bell currently running in 8th position right now. Has been as high as 3rd in this race.
And, you know, when we talk about Toyotas, there's a lot made
Oh, it's going to be a good finish.
But then this morning, big fear when it came to the power plants. They're all currently still on the racetrack running while Kyle Busch is a lap down with an issue because of his accident. You know, the Toyotas still all making power. So, you know, about 6 hours ago, I think it was more concerning for them, but here they're all still on the racetrack.
Steve, let's go back 10 years. Could we have a finish like what we saw back in 2012? It was the 18 of Kyle Busch just in front of the 2 of Brian Keselowski, the 9 of Marcus Ambrose, and then we learned there was some fluid on the racetrack.
Yeah, fluid on the racetrack. No big surprise that Keselowski and Kyle Busch tried to both squeeze through the S's, and then right here, this is the move, right? The 9
squeezed through the final corner. It was one of the best final laps we've seen anywhere in any sort of racing. But here it was great. You talk about international drivers. Ambrose raised that checkered flag. And there's Brad right here in the 6th. This RFK group, we talk a lot about Busher. His road course is impressive, running 10th. Brad having a solid day at 17th. I think Brad, he went over there, and he's obviously a remarkable race car driver. He's learning kind of to be a race car driver and an owner. He's been very vocal about Chris Buescher and how good he thinks Chris Buescher is. So I can't imagine what takes his days. One of these days, I'm going to ask him that. I'm going to find some time where he can sit down and just be like, hey, what didn't you expect? What did you expect? What's a day in the life of Brad Keselowski now versus when you were just a race car driver?
Hey, do you remember how this race started, where the 19 and the 12 were? Do you remember they were side by side?
Side by side, and
that's how we're going to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
They're side by side again. As we're getting ready for the restart, there will be 5 laps to go, and you can hear the crowd. They are ready for the final 5 laps here at the Glen. Chase Elliott will be on the outside.
So this goes.
The 5 of Kyle Larson on the inside again.
And when we talk about guys trying to get their first win, this is what you can't prep for. Simulator, all that. I don't care.
First win, who?
The only way you learn how to
Who's going for that first win?
Having this chance, lining up, feeling this pressure, 5 to go. These 2 at the front. I mean, they're the last 2 chances in the series. This is going to be just an absolute battle. It's going to be awesome.
All 5 drivers in the top 5 are road course winners. They've got 15 combined wins amongst the 5 of them. And back up through the gears we go. Elliott on the outside, Larson on the inside. They're side by side still. And Larson surging ahead now as they get around. He outbreaks him and he slides up.
Oh, he slid up.
As they both slide up the track, it opens the door for A.J. Allmendinger.
Kyle Larson used up Chase Elliott coming into turn number 1 is going to earn him the lead before he gets to turn number 2. But A.J. Allmendinger is going to compound this whole matter. Digger goes to 2nd. Elliott falls to 3rd and faces an immediate threat from Joey Logano in that yellow car to the inside coming off the end of the backstretch.
Joey on the outside of the braking zone. Both these guys are going to push it deep into this corner. Still side by side. It's going to cost them both the position.
Oh, man.
Here comes the 8.
Elliott's got to be fuming, bro.
Chase Elliott needed to get by. Joey Logano right there did not do it. Actually lost maybe 2 positions. That wind is driving away from him. Now we got a great battle. A.J. Allmendinger trying to run Kyle Larson down.
A.J. Allmendinger about a car length. Now car length and a half behind Kyle Larson as they come through 7. Looking at 4 laps.
Oh, is there a spin in the back?
A great battle continuing back a little further. Suarez trying to get by the 9. And Elliott
Maybe not.
holding him off. So now into turn 1. The 5 of Larson, 2 car lengths back is A.J. Allmendinger.
Meanwhile, they're banging quarter panels further back. Up front, it's all about A.J. Allmendinger. Does he have enough to get to the back bumper of Kyle Larson and take this win this afternoon at Watkins Glen? He's got work to do. He's got 4 car lengths of real estate to make up before he gets to the back bumper, and then he's got to get around that back bumper and take the lead.
If AJ can do it, he's going to have to really pick this car up, put it on his back, and make it happen. He's closing the gap a little bit here to the bus stop. Kyle Larson cannot be conservative in those positions. They go through the carousel, the 16 gets even closer, a little bobble right there for AJ. You're exactly right, Junior. You cannot get conservative because A.J. Allmendinger will not be. He's going to be trying to outbreak you into 6, into 7. He's going to try to outbreak you into 1, all those passing zones. So you see right here, turn 7, it's so important for Larson to hit this.
Oh, so what?
Turn 1 is a great opportunity to pass.
Larson looking for the weekend sweep. He won the Xfinity Series race yesterday. Now trying to win the Cup race. Right behind A.J. Allmendinger, a full-time Xfinity Series driver. Remember, if he wins this race, it doesn't have any implications on the playoffs in the Cup Series.
Less than 3 laps to go. They've cleared 1 and now continue downhill into turn 2. The separation has stabilized, at least at this end of the racetrack, where Allmendinger's not able to make up the ground like he does in other parts of the track. It's 4 car lengths, maybe even 5, as Larson legs it out coming out of turn 4 and heads to the bus stop.
Look at the focus in the eyes of Larson. One of the most technical parts of the racetrack. He tries to get through here as good as possible. Again, AJ closes. And then down into the carousel, right at the limit of grip. Trying to put the throttle down here, back to a shift. 6. They both get into the corner equally. Larson, a little bit of a wiggle right there, but see, he drives away just a little bit into turn 7. Just a little bit more of a gap, and then the exit of turn 7 appears to be an advantage for Larson as well.
Yesterday, Kyle Larson got the lead on a restart with a late accident in front of him, but the closing laps, he had to hold off the same driver, A.J. Allmendinger, yesterday. He was able to do it today. The same task awaits. 2 to go to the Glen.
Here they come now back into turn 2. Less than 2 laps remain in this one at the Glen. You've got Kyle Larson, A.J. Allmendinger. Here's A.J. trying to do the best he can.
I feel like Chase is going to do something to Logano, I'm not going to lie to you.
Separation coming to the back straightaway. The same has been ever since the restart for Carlix.
Watch the eyes of Larson. Every corner exit, he looks up to see if the 16 is still there. He feels the pressure. He knows, he respects how good A.J. is. Watch when he comes around this carousel. Once he finishes the corner exit, he's going to peek up there and see where that 16 car is.
Yeah, it's just a gauge for him, right? He's going to look in that mirror. There he is right there. Okay, what's my space? How is my lap? He did not do that until he had an area where it did not mess his lap up. He just needed to check to see how his lap was. What he saw he liked because he's driving away from Allmendinger.
The reigning champion looking for a little momentum before they get to the playoffs. It's been all the way since California, the second race of the season, when he found
What's over? Dang, man.
And now, 3 Carlings separate the top 2. A.J. Allmendinger trying to find anything in that car to catch the 5.
Oh, he's going to have divine intervention to win this race because Kyle Larson is gone. Here he comes for the final time through turn 2, through turn 3, setting up for turn number 4. It's all Kyle Larson trying to score the double dip as he races his way for the final time of the back straightaway at the Glen.
The best Chase Elliott could do was work his way back up to 4th position after Kyle Larson ran him wide on turn 1 of the final restart. An aggressive move, but it's put him in position to win this race, comfortably ahead of the 16 car of A.J. Allmendinger. Only a few quarters remain for the 5 car in checkered flag.
Not the wins from Kyle Larson that we saw last year, but now getting momentum going into the playoffs. Larson becoming more dangerous at the time of the year when it matters. Playoffs looming. Kyle Larson set up for a win here.
Burton, you mentioned it. He won here a year ago, and he looks to go back-to-back at the Glen. Kyle Larson comes out on the front stretch. He'll see the checkered flag. Larson wins again at the Glen.
Well, oh well. I mean, good one. No, let's just say.
Allmendinger coming home second, Logano third, Chase Elliott fourth, Daniel Suarez the top 5 finish. Showing a little respect there, A.J. Allmendinger pulling up the side of the 5 of Larson. '18 career wins for Kyle Larson. And that breaks, by the way, the longest winless streak that Kyle Larson had ever experienced since joining Hendrick Motorsports. What a restart.
Yeah, watch Kyle Larson drives in the corner, right front's locked up, went up the racetrack, moved Chase Elliott out of the way. Just an aggressive move. I don't think that was intentional, but Chase Elliott isn't going to care. Kyle Larson just cooked it down in there, could not control his car, and ran Kyle Larson up. Ran Chase Elliott up. See right here, right front's just locked up. Now the car's not turning, and now he's got Chase Elliott moved out of the groove.
Yeah, once that right front locks up, you lose front grip. You're no longer going to be able to make the bottom of the corner. Everybody's going into this corner as hard as possible. Remember, you got A.J. behind you. He is absolutely going to try to outbreak the 5 car into the corner. So Larson knew he had to go into this corner farther than he had all day long, and that's the risk that you take. Everybody escapes unharmed, but it is going to be a tense situation between these teammates today and going forward.
Oh well.